Get started in just a second, everybody. Letting everybody get logged back in here. All right, everybody. Hey, we are back after our short break to dive more into the raising capital, finding private investors aspects of things. Obviously, we covered a little bit there in the AM session about how to leverage IRA investors. One of the most important things you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to raising capital, is not everybody that you contact is going to be an ideal fit for you. As I've mentioned before, it's good to trust your gut. If somebody feels like they're a bad fit, then trust your gut and say, I just don't have a good fit for you. I've met with plenty of people in my offices in Zoom. They came in, we, really catered to their needs. And at the end of the thing, they weren't just a fit because of just, the times I look back because I've done so many deals and we've funded, I don't know, $15 to $20 million in capital since we started, stuff like that, which may not be that big for some folks. For others, it's big. You realize we're buying distressed debt, stuff like that. But that's the aspect of us raising stuff. Now, there's been times we've done deals where we haven't had to raise a dollar for ourselves because the investors that brought us aboard had the money themselves. We didn't have to raise anything. But here's the thing is, trust your instincts. When you're talking to investors, when you're talking to people, it is just as much you interviewing them as they are interviewing you. Okay? And it's important to take the time to evaluate. You have to realize there's some things that you're going to do along the way, and we'll give you this process, but you really need to follow this process. Otherwise, you can be spinning your wheels in a lot of cases, okay? Like one of the things that you have to get comfortable is asking people how much they're looking to put to work. When people respond to you and you start going through the process and what you're doing, before you let them go, you have to get a bit of a feel, say, so what are you looking to put to work? It's a very simple question. Are you looking for 50, 100K? The reason you have to ask this question, if you don't ask that question, you could be wasting your time if they've only got $5,000 to invest. They only got 10 grand to invest. Like I'm working with a couple of guys now and I've been hampered. You have to ask the question, how much are you looking to put to work? Oh, yeah. No, not, oh, yeah. Ask them, damn it all. Get uncomfortable asking that question. Get comfortable asking that question. And sure enough, they're trying to get an investor to fund 90 grand. Well, they don't have 90 grand. They got 15 grand. If they would have asked this question 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, because I've been hampered on them for 3 weeks now, they wouldn't have wasted their time with this one investor thinking they got it. Oh, sorry, I get fired up because when I'm talking with somebody and I'm telling them what to do, it's a reason for it. Okay. People ask me all the time, how should we structure this? How we do it? And I tell them exactly how to do it. If they don't want to do it that way, then don't do it that way. Don't bother me. Don't waste my time calling me if you don't want to follow what I tell you to do. Okay. It is not that difficult. If you're asking me questions, then listen to what I'm saying. Don't be an asshole. Okay. Don't be a person that's reaching out and asking all these questions, but then not following or doing the opposite. I hate that. It invigorates me. There's nothing that will get you on my bad side faster if you're constantly asking me questions and then going doing something else. Okay. There's a lot of idiots out there in the note business that aren't doing shit that have a voice. Okay. Some of these groups are just dumpster fires that are available out there. And I laugh because you can tell they're not doing anything. If you look at what they share on marketing wise, and if they're sharing any deal flow, if they're sharing anything, you can tell they're not doing anything. And a lot of these groups are just educated idiots sitting around. It's kind of like Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets is a great place to raise capital. I'll talk a way to do it, but it's also a dumpster fire. Facebook groups can be a great way to raise capital, but it's a dumpster fire. A lot of educated idiots not doing a damn thing. And I get so frustrated. This is why I tell you guys, if you do some of the things that we've talked about earlier, if you pull that list and start marketing to that list, you're going to raise capital. You ain't got to deal with the idiots at Facebook. You ain't got to jump on a plane to go to a conference. I don't go to conferences anymore. I take that back. There are a couple conferences I go to. I take that back. I don't go to the general real estate conferences. I don't go to the note investing conferences. I've turned down speaking at those. It's not worth my time because I've learned how to leverage my time more valuable. Like I had the Note Investor Summit, NIS, and DMEs have asked me to speak in the past. I said, no. I'm like, but they want me to speak because they want me to market. They want access to my 65,000 person email database and my social media because we'll drive engagement. If I go and promote something, people are going to have business done. And this is why I tell you, if you're dealing with a vendor, Dickie's great. Not talking about Dickie at all. But if you're dealing with a vendor or service or somebody's treating you like ass, let me know. All right? Let me know. I'm glad to be an asshole back because I will call them and say, listen, if you want business, then you need to treat my clients better. You need to treat my students better. Everybody's got to get started. And that's another thing that's a pet peeve. When you start marketing, you're going to have some of these jackasses. Oh, you're violating SEC. You're not violating SEC laws, getting up and talking about a deal that you're looking to do, or you're looking for funding. Okay, looking for a funding partner. That's a pretty generic. You don't say guaranteed. You don't see risk-free. Okay, you don't do that stuff. Don't say those things. It's an investment. Things can go wrong, of course. But you have to get up and start talking to people about what you're doing. Hey, I'm looking for a funding partner, but I'm interested in partnering up together on something. There's some ways to structure this. You don't say joint venture partners. That's a different thing. Like if Lisa and I were going to each bring 25 grand to the table, we're a joint venture partner. If I'm just bringing 50K to the deal, or Lisa's just bringing 50K and she's the funding partner, not a joint venture partner. Okay. If I'm having Lisa bring 50K to fund my deal, she's my funding partner. Now to secure the investment, I can do a couple of things. I can have, an assignment of mortgage that gets filed at the county transfers ownership. I can have her co-named on the assignment so that she can actually see in the county records that she's co-named. And it's labeled like 50% interest to Lisa Rush, LLC, and 50% interest to Scott Carson, LLC. That just shows that she has an interest in the property. Okay. Now, the funding agreement we have lined up, if she's my funding partner, she's not getting 50% of the deal. She may be getting 8 or 10%. Okay. The funding agreement outlines what she's getting, 8% over 12 months or 24 months. It's a flat lending agreement. You can't go split equity or split deal flow with somebody you're borrowing money from. That's a security. You can't do that. Now, what you can do if somebody brings like 250 to the table, and now I say 250 or more, because that's what we really need someone to be serious about this, is then you create an LLC that's just a special purpose LLC for that one investor. You're 51% owner in the LLC, they're 49%. Then you can split the profits 50-50. Okay? Because then the note deal's going into that LLC, which they're owning. That's an operating agreement, funding agreement, all that kind of stuff. That's different. You got to line that. That's different. But borrowing money from somebody, you're just going to give somebody a flat 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% return. Don't even do above 12. I've had people coming, I got $500,000. I want to give it to you. I want to make 15%. I'm like, no, go pound sand. And they get upset at me. I'm like, listen, I'm not going to give you 15%. If you want 15%, go do it yourself. I'm not going to give you the lion's share of the deal. I don't need your money that bad. Your money is not the gold. And they get all mad, start cussing at me. I'm like, well, now it shows I really don't want to do business with you because you're an asshole, right? I don't want to be tied up with you, in bed with you for 24 months. No, you're a pain in the ass to deal with. Okay. I get fired up about this because, look, I've made my mistakes. I'm the first one to tell you that I am not perfect. I've been sued. I've had issues in the past with deals going south. Everybody will at some point. It's how you get through them, how you take care of people. Not everything is always going to be hunky-dory and going to go perfectly. Actually, as we know in most real estate deals, there's always something that pops up. It's how you deal with issues. Okay. And what I always find interesting, and it's downright sad, is when you have some folks that have been around for a little while, people that were once brand new note investors, like many of you, people that were past coaching students of me, who've done well. They've bought a couple hundred notes. They're doing well, but then they start treating people like ass. They call in a new guy who's trying to raise capital. Oh, you're violating, or you're doing something stupid. Don't be. That is the most ignoramus thing that they can say. And when I see stuff like that, I'm like, I'm going to pray for you. You got issues, man. You must have woke up on the wrong side of the year. Okay. You have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wanting perfection, then go do something else. There's a lot of moving parts to this business. Not everything is going to be exactly perfect. If you're waiting for the perfect deal, go do something else. Okay. You're going to have, if you're waiting for your to market until it's perfect, go do something else. Don't waste your time, and sure as hell don't waste my time. Okay. Don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. Don't waste other people's time. That's the biggest thing. There's nothing wrong being brand new. We all have to learn, and you're going to learn going forward. You're learn more doing your first deal than you ever will doing anything else in any class. Part of the reason we are so focused on this class is sharing the ins, the outs, the good, the bad, the ugly, so you are educated and not surprised by something major. You'd be surprised. I get people that call me, they've taken somebody else's classes or workshop, and they're like, I didn't know that. I'm like, you didn't know that? That's a basic necessity. Part of the reason that people don't talk about raising capital or talk about how to go direct is that they don't want to give up sources. There's so many other people out there that sell notes, but you got to go buy through them directly, and then you're going to get a different price depending on what kind of aspect. I've never been like that. There's plenty of inventory to go around. If I have a deal, yeah, I'll share it to you. Yeah, I'm going to charge you a little bit, but I'm going to charge you evenly. I'm not going to take most of the lion's share myself because I want to get something done. You got to have, on a deal, you really need to have a win-win on both sides of the thing. If you only have win on one side, it's not a deal worth doing. And that's the way I look at it. All right. That's my personal opinion. And the win here is helping people get their money to work, put it into something that's doing well, get people to buy notes so they don't have to go and deal with toilet stands and trash outs. They can try to be passive if they like to. Okay. So anyway, after I get off my high horse here, like I said, part of it, like I said, is the mentality that you are offering somebody an opportunity. And that's really what it comes down to. You're going to do your due diligence. There's some things you definitely want to keep in mind that you want to say. And there's a reason for the madness of only buying first lien. It's not madness. It actually makes a lot of sense to buy first liens. And here's the 5 or 6 things that we say that we do to protect not only ourselves, but our investors' money. Okay. First and foremost, one, we only buy first liens. I can't tell you how important that is when raising capital, that you're in a first lien position. The only thing in wipe you out would be God and taxes. Well, if you check the taxes, you're good. If you got insurance, hey, God, you can blow this house down, but insurance is going to get us. Okay. That's good. We buy first liens only. Most of the people that are trying to buy second liens, they're using their own funds because they don't want to go raise capital. And that's fine, but eventually you're going to run out of your own money. And seconds can drag on a lot longer than a first. Okay. So first liens only. Second, we're not buying above 70% of as is value. Occasionally we'll go a little bit if it's at a faster foreclosure, but usually we're at 70% of fair market value or less, usually less if we're buying off the debt. Okay. Third thing, we use professionals, servicers, attorneys. We use professionals. It's not me doing the bulk of the work. I go find the deals and I put investors in with our deals. That's what I do. The servicing, the borrower workout, the foreclosures, that's all handled by people that have a lot more experience than I do. Okay. Sending a door knocker, get knocked out. I've been shot at twice knocking on doors. I do not want to do that. Both times in Gary, Indiana. Okay. Gary's got some rough spots. Yeah. I was out on a buying tour one time. We had 14, 15 investors. We used to do these shadow inventory roadshows with a guy where we'd get 14 or 15 investors together for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They come in Thursday night, like we fly into Chicago, get a Sprinter van and an SUV, and then we would go look at like 20, 30 assets, 40, 50 assets. Can be a lot of fun. We went when we were in Gary, and we're looking at one house, which is kind of ugly. It's a little ramshackle. You can tell somebody's been vacant for a little while. Well, I see a guy mowing his yard down. It seems like a nicer neighborhood, right? So I'm walking down, I'm wearing jeans. I'm just wearing a regular polo shirt, and I'm waving the guy mowing his lawn, and he stops. And he looks at me, and I come up to him. I said, hey, you have a black guy. Nothing wrong. I'm not racist. I'm always willing to talk to people. I'm like, hey, I just want to ask you about the house down here in the corner. He's like, yeah, it's been vacant for a while. What can I help you with? I was like, well, we're looking at, I'm an investor. Oh, are you a California investor? You get too many of those damn assholes here. And I'm like, no, I'm from Texas, but okay. But we're just looking at it because, can you tell me, well, you need to get the hell out of here. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, we're actually trying to buy the asset to fix it up, to keep your values up is one of the things. Well, he stops mowing, he walks in. His wife is, I don't know, working in the flower bed, and she comes over and I said, well, the guy comes out with a 44 Magnum. Okay. You need to get the F out of here, man. I'm like, whoa, okay. So I start, no offense, no, I'm on the sidewalk here. The guy fires off a round over my head. I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk. Walk down. Stephanie was there. She's like, oh, we heard a gunshot. I was like, yeah, that guy fired a 44 Magnum over my head. Warned me off. I was like, I can't believe it. Craziness. Now I was in there in Gary to Indiana another time, and somebody shot off a round at me. Thought I was trying to break into a house and I was just peeking in the windows. And I was like, I'm not trying to. I've never been robbed. I did have in Salt Lake City. I had an 88-year-old grandmother pull a double barrel shotgun and poke it through the screen door at me one time. We were knocking on foreclosures a year back. So you have a few adventures, okay? But anyway, where was I going with that? This is why I like doing things remotely. I can be sitting here in Austin, Texas, on my laptop, up in my office here, directing traffic all across the country. All right. I will go out and look at assets from time to time. If it's here in Austin, if it's within 2 hours, I'll drive off, take a look at it. Get some time. I've flown into Jacksonville, Florida, and we looked at 60 assets in like a week, driving around the state to get a familiar for what we own. And we were looking at a big portfolio. Did the same thing in Ohio, driven around for a week, looked at about 100 assets, half of which we owned, the other half we were looking at buying. Michigan, we hit 60 assets in 3 days. So if you're going to be investing, it's worth to do that in a specific state. Go fly in, meet with a realtor, meet with an attorney, and drive around and look at assets, okay? Yeah, Josh said, I think I'll peel off my $85 for Dickie. This goes back a few years, obviously. Been there, done that. I need to get up and catch a Tigers game at some point and check it off my list. But what I'm trying to get at, ladies and gentlemen, is you have vendors to do that for you. You ain't got a risk of being doing that. I mean, we've all heard the story about the landlord that knocked on the door to collect rent and he got shot or they got killed, stabbed. I had some friends that were part of a mastermind group that were murdered by their tenant. They went to knock on the door and the tenant pulled a gun on them and held them inside, pulled them inside and killed them, and then rolled them up in rugs and drove them off and throw them on the side of the road. That happened about 5 years ago. That was a sad time. And that's, the great thing about being the bank is nobody calls the bank when the rubber ducky gets flushed down the toilet. Okay. That's why the banks are the best. And that's why paying to be the bank is the best. I like to say, but it's also, you got to understand you're offering people an opportunity. And going back to the list that we talked about, once again, we're only buying first liens or buying at 70% of value or less. You're hiring professionals. We're double checking title on that stuff to make sure that we have the right to everything's clean. We're checking title, checking collateral file, and then fifth, in case of an act of God, we have insurance on the property. Okay, those are the 5 things that we look at. Okay, first liens only, buying it at a discount, using professionals to the servicing, the workout, store knocking. We're evaluating the collateral file to make sure we have the right to do it. Okay. If neither one of those things, if the value's not there and stuff like that, we cancel. Okay. We put insurance in case of an act of God. Can't get insurance on a property, we're not going to do the deal. Okay. That's been the issue with stuff down in Florida recently. His insurance been so high, so we've had to cancel some deals. Okay. So those are 5 things that you want to basically keep an eye out for. Oh, and also to people, usually they're not going to wire the funds directly to me. Okay. We'll set up an escrow account. You're going to wire it to our escrow account, or you may wire it directly to the seller. Usually we're going to have the investor fund extra above what the purchase price of the note is, because we're going to have them, fund $5,000 or more on the workout and servicing costs along the time. So they may wire in 70 to an escrow account, 60 is going to the lender for the deal, and then the 10 grand then gets wired into our account for operations and other expenses along the way, or 5 or 10 grand. We'll get to that later on, more so tomorrow. But those are the things to keep in mind. Now, when talking with investors, you could do a couple things. Okay. We've talked about finding investors at real estate clubs and networking and friends and family and, the IRA list and stuff like that. And that can be, oh, I'm gonna have to talk to 700 people. No, let's make it smart. Let's have you not have to talk to 700 people. And one of the most important resources that you can put together is to have something that's going to answer 90% of the questions that people are going to ask pre-recorded. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a pitch deck. Now, you can have a paper pitch deck if you want to go through it with people. That's fine. I think it's good to have. But initially, in today's world, you really only need a pitch deck video of 10 to 15 minutes long at the most. Something that you can share with the masses, that those that are interested will take the next step to connect with you. Okay, Does that make sense? And this is not meant to be difficult. I'm going to go through a sample pitch deck of what we have and what we've done, how we treat. It's a little outdated. We need to go back and update the slides. But the beautiful thing is if you use this, you may not ever have to recreate one again. If you use it over and over and over again, guess what? You don't have to replicate it. You create it once, you record it, you put it on a website where people go look at it. They can watch it for 10 or 15 minutes. And you make it, then they schedule a call with you. And that's easy. That's an easy kind of close ratio for you. Okay. So let's dive into what goes into your pitch deck. Okay. Your pitch deck is going to be it's going to be about you, who you are, your company, and your background, what you're buying, what are you investing in, what are you focused on, maybe why that's important and what's the opportunities like that, and then how people can get involved with you. And then that's the ask. Okay. I don't try, if somebody calls me immediately out of the blue, I ask them some questions, and I'll get into that later on, but usually if we're going to be mailing out to IRA investors, we send them a link to check out who we are. And we use this pitch deck video not only as a website, but we use it in other places as well. When raising capital, we'll talk about that, how each and every one of you can use it. It's pretty simple to do. And you're going to don't go and copy exactly what I have on here. Everybody's a little bit different. Okay. And one of the things that we do with our one-on-one coaching services is we help them work on their pitch deck to help them customize it and make it effective. I can tell you it's effective because when we see like the likes of Larry Hoffman's raised 4 or 5 million, or Wayne Snell's raised 5 million. Catherine's using a pitch deck, has raised several million, not only for her note stuff, but also for her RV parks. I know John and Veronica Gore have raised basically, I don't know, about $1.5 million, I believe. Keith Hollins, a guy out of Arkansas, targeted the IRA investors for note deals, raised about $500,000, but then he's also, through the marketing he did for notes, he had people reach out to him, and he raised basically $4 to $5 million from one investor to fund the purchase of a distressed hotel. Okay. He's a sharp guy. So we know what we do, and we know what to say. And one of the great things, I'm going to review your pitch deck too, to make sure you're not overseeing. Here's the thing. You don't want to be long-winded. I've had guys that came in and make this thing 20, 30 minutes long. I'm like, that's 15 minutes too long. And a lot of times when we're brand new investing, we want to try to look smarter, right? Like share all our experience. Well, we don't need to go into that. What we need to do is get to the point pretty fast in the first couple minutes of what you're doing, so that people understand what the heck they're talking about and can get the point. You get longer than 15 minutes, your pitch deck is too long. Okay. So let's go through a basic pitch deck that we have, and then we'll go from there. All right. Cool stuff. So we have a hard stop today at 4:30. A hard stop at 4:30. So just letting you know, guys, that's when we'll be done for the day, at 4:30. All right, let me pull up my sample pitch deck. I haven't updated this presentation. I'm updating one of the different one that I use that I send to people, but it's pretty much the same thing. I've got a little bit different, obviously, because my background's a little bit different from you, but that's okay. So, hey, and then I'm going to just go through it like I'm actually talking to you guys as investors, or you're on a webinar, or it's a video recording of it. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to come check out WeCloseNotes.com. I'm excited to share with you what we're doing, what we're focused on, our background experience, and how you guys can get involved as well. If you're obviously watching this video, you probably received a letter or postcard from us, or a webinar invite, and we thank you for taking time. We promise this won't be longer than probably about 10 to 12 minutes for you, and we encourage you to ask questions. And if I don't answer your questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. We'll show you how to get started, or how to reach out with more questions and get the ball rolling. But who am I? I'm Scott Carson. I'm known across the country as the Note Guy. I'm the CEO of WeCloseNotes.com. We're an Austin-based real estate company, been around since, since I've been investing in real estate since 2002. So over 20 years as a real estate investor. WeCloseNotes.com has been around since 2010. And we like to focus on a variety of things, but I have a background as a previous mortgage banker, financial advisor, and sales for some of the largest companies out there. In 2014, it's hard to believe it's been a decade, but it's Note Educator of the Year. Been nominated for Real Estate Investor of the Year a few times before as well. I've been featured all across the country in a variety of different publications, including Investors Business Daily, the Wall Street Journal, Inc.com, and spoken at hundreds of real estate investment clubs across the country, including the National Association of Realtors Conference, the REI Expo, Think Realties, and everything. And I've carved out a niche and been buying commercial and residential debt since 2007. Okay. WeCloseNotes.com, like I said, we're out of Austin, Texas. We focus on buying distressed real estate, invest in that. And then we also have an education side of what we do, teaching other investors how to dive into the niches that we're in. Like I said, it's been around since 2010. And we focus on the niche. We don't try to do a variety of things. We focus on the niche of buying and selling non-performing notes. And you'll probably hear me talk about NPNs. That's what NPN stands for, is non-performing notes. We deal directly with banks and hedge funds. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Most people, when they think about note investing, they think about like somebody owner financing a property. That's one niche. We take it to a whole different level. We often will buy in bulk, and we buy direct from banks. We will buy owner finance notes occasionally, but most of the time, we're getting banks and different hedge funds and lending companies to send us lists on a regular basis that we can cherry pick from. Okay, maybe one note, maybe 1,000 notes. Okay, I've been doing it for a while. We have purchased over $1 billion in debt since we've been started. Started off buying commercial notes as the residential markets, crashed in 2009. We started buying a lot there, and we've been buying a variety of both residential and commercial notes since then. Okay, and like I said, we teach classes in this. You check that out at WeCloseNotes.com as well. But our sole focus is buying the distressed debt from banks at big discounts, and then working to really rehab the borrower. Yes, when we buy the note, we literally become the bank. We become the lender, and we're able to work out it with the homeowner. And we actually prefer mortgages where the borrower owes more. Owner-occupied assets where the borrower actually owes more than it's worth. We call those underwater assets, not like submarine on the Florida coast or anything like that. We actually prefer where they owe more than the property's worth, because we buy that debt at a discount, and that gives us the forced or the created equity to do some great things. We have bought in over 30 states. We have some primary markets and secondary markets we like. We like buying in most of the major cities and in smaller markets for the most part. But we like Ohio, Michigan, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Indiana, Missouri, and Kansas are some of our favorites. That's not saying that's the only states that we'll buy in. We've bought stuff, like I said, in over 30 states. Our real sweet spot is that first-time home buyer side. Anything from 50K really to 250K on the residential side. That number obviously has increased over the years with appreciation up to 500,000. I mean, we will look at stuff in markets like Florida up to $1 million on the residential side. On the commercial side, we like that small balance commercial, really anything under 5 million for the most part. We find a really big sweet spot in that 1 to 2 million commercial spot, because it's too small for Wall Street and some of these big hedge funds, but it's ideal for investors like you and me to step into it. And we often on the commercial side work out some very favorable terms with the bank to sell us the debt, and either they'll even carry the financing or work with us in a creative way where we don't have to bring the full purchase price of the note to the table, maybe just 20-30%. Okay. Now, what we aren't, here's the thing. People always ask me what we do. We aren't wholesalers. I mean, yes, from time to time, we will flip some notes on some portfolios that we get, but we're not a wholesaler. We're not a fix and flipper, even though we do take some property back, but we prefer not to fix and flip. I am not a landlord. I sure as hell don't want to deal with toilet stands and trash outs. That's another whole job. And not a joker broker, somebody that's not buying for their own portfolio. And there's plenty of people out there that are wholesalers that are kind of joker brokers who really aren't buying anything. They're just trying to make a little bit here and there. And that's okay. We're always buying for our own portfolio. That's the biggest thing you have to keep in mind. And it's one of the things that we're proud of. We buy for our own portfolio first and then help others out there. And one of the things that we're known for is that we are turning problem properties into profitable solutions. It's our tagline. Turning problem properties into profitable solutions. Okay. Now, we've got an amazing in-house team. This has changed, obviously, as a me, Somebody Goodman in my operations of events. Stan Steele is a marketing manager. Hazel Rivera has been our portfolio manager. Angel Maldonado is in accounting, and Rosie Villa is another marketing assistant. You can put on here, what I would do is put your team. If you've got partners, marketing assistants, people like that, you could put that in your in-house counsel. But we work with a variety of vendors, and your vendors are going to change. And what you want to do is put your list of professionals, your team of vendors, like Madison Management and Associates, one of the servicing companies we work with. Singer Law Group is a company that does aggressive workouts for us. Pro Title USA is a title company we work with. Ross Diversified Insurance Company is an insurance company we work with. Lawford Associates helps us with our entities and asset protection. And Crowdfunding Lawyers helps us with our raising capital, our private placements, and things like that. This is going to change. These all change basically for me. All right. But it's a good idea for you to put your vendors there. Now, our deal focus, like I said, we like residential property values between 50 to 250K. We avoid long foreclosure markets like New York and Jersey. Really, the longest one that we'll look at is probably Florida. We will look at Illinois from time to time, but we're not big fans of Chicago or Cook County. We actually prefer occupied assets where there's some sort of payment history in the last 12, 24, or 36 months. Or with where we're at now, we always try to look to see if the borrower was paying prior to COVID, and then we'll go from there. And our goal is those occupied assets are working to get the borrower back on track. The other half of what we'll end up doing is usually offering cash for keys or a friendly foreclosure. And then we end up foreclosing about 25% of the time. That's going through the actual, either the judicial courts in a judicial state or filing it at the county in non-judicial states for the foreclosure. If we do end up having to take the asset back, we're going to price the asset to sell to move relatively fast in 30 days. Okay. Give you a bit of an idea on some of the images of some of the properties doing that. We look at reperforming notes. These are notes that were once non-performing, that somebody bought them, worked with a homeowner, got them back on track, and they've made payments for 6 or 12 months, and they've got some equity in the asset, and they might want to lose it. So we like those. We can usually pick this up at a double-digit return on investment for us. Okay, and we're not talking like mega mansions. We're very cookie cutter, meat and potato kind of houses all across the country. Okay, decent little houses where people have pride of ownership and they want to stay in their houses. We'll end up taking some foreclosures back. This is actually a property in Lehigh Acres, Florida. We thought we'd have to foreclose, but when we actually, after we funded the note purchase, we found that the homeowner had already moved out. It already signed over a deed in lieu to the lender, and it became a foreclosure, and it was in great condition. We could turn around and sell that immediately. We like it, small balance commercial. This is a apartment complex in West Palm Beach where the bank actually called us an 8-unit. I actually talked about this a little bit yesterday. We bought this, took it over in operations, took it over in receivership, got it back up and running, and increased the value of the property. And when we sold it at the foreclosure auction, we came out smelling pretty. Okay. We'll buy in portfolios too. Pools is not just something that you swim in, but pools of assets. We've bought as big as 305 assets as once, and it varies. We'll buy in bulk, and sometimes we'll buy the one-off asset. Most of the time, though, when we buy in bulk, we're talking it's probably around 10 to 20 assets. Okay. Like I said, we've done some big stuff, but we also find that when you buy that big stuff, you end up taking a lot of stuff that is kind of considered junk, and you got to kind of write that off. We like buying that smaller, mid-size, 10 to 20 asset where we can really get a good deal and a good quality asset class for us, where we don't have to waste any time or money on some of the lower level assets. And here's just a picture of some of the assets in the pool. This is actually a pool of Ohio assets that we bought. This is actually, 12 out of 60 that we bought. Okay. And to give you a bit of an idea, we've bought all across the country before. This is a map, one of our portfolios that we've purchased. You can see a lot down in God's waiting room, a lot up in the Midwest here too. They're color coded for a variety of different things. Orange, I believe, is there in the process of modifying. Red is the foreclosures. Blue is they're kind of back on track. Dark blue means they've been performing for a while. Yellow, they're in that process of under 6 months, if I remember correctly. Green means basically we've taken the asset back and sold the property. Okay, so that's one portfolio. Here's another portfolio. This is of 100 notes that we bought at once. It was a portfolio contract for deeds or small balance first liens we bought from a big bank. And like I said, we buy all across the country. We don't do this all ourselves. Like I said, we rely heavily on our vendors. We've got vendors that help us with our due diligence process and pooling values, checking title all across the country so that we can evaluate it. And if a deal doesn't match what we're looking for, our criteria, our values, our buy box, I guess you could say, then we kick it to the curb and move on. Okay. Now, like I said, there's a few important things. One is our number one goal when we buy notes is to try to rehab the borrower, not send them to the Betty Ford Clinic to dry out, But our goal, if we buy an occupied asset, it's always usually the first goal is to try to rehab the borrower, get them back on track, get that borrower making payments on time so we get cash flow within 90 days or less. Okay. We only buy first liens. That's the big thing. We're not going to buy second lien. We have bought some second liens, but the only time we're going to buy a second lien is if it's behind our first, and we can buy that second lien cheap. Well, otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and foreclose. We only buy below market value, 70% or less. Okay. We don't go above that unless it's in a really fast market like Texas, or the days on market are extremely fast for us and it needs no work. Okay. We're always using professional vendors to review the files and title work to make sure that everything is, we're able to foreclose. We have the right to foreclose. We use professional vendors, attorneys to foreclose in every state, bankruptcy attorneys. We use servicing companies to service those, the collection, the borrower outreach. We work with professionals. We place insurance on the assets in case of an act of God too. So if something happens, disgruntled borrower pours concrete down the toilet, or lightning strikes, or fire breaks out, we make sure that we're insured on the assets. Okay. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking for potential funding partners, people that want to make an above average return by using their cash, savings, 401k, self-directed IRA accounts, money sitting on the sidelines that's not performing. We all know it's getting tougher out there. You have more month often left at the end of your paychecks, and people are losing buying power. And if your money sitting on the sidelines is not making you 6% to keep up with inflation, then you need to do something. We work with a variety of IRA companies, Quest, Equity Trust, all sorts of companies. Okay. We're looking for real estate investors that are looking for an above average return without having to do any work. We work with a lot of tired landlords are tired of the 3 T's, toilet stands, and trash outs. We work with a lot of REO, real estate owned investors are looking for foreclosures who can't find deals, but they can make a good return doing what we're doing. We're looking for fix and flippers who are tired of flipping and tired of dealing with contractors, would rather sit at home and be able to do this without having to do all the competition that goes into finding those deals. And like I said, we're looking for people that want to put their certificate of disappointments, their CDs, or the individual retirement accounts to work for a shorter period of time. By short period of time, we don't mean 6 months. We also don't mean 30 years like most people think buying notes is. We want to talk short-term, 2 to 3 years, usually is what most of our deals will roll through. Okay. And if this sounds interesting, let's continue the conversation. If you'd like to get more information about what we're doing and get a list of some of the deals or talk with myself, I'm always glad to talk. Let's discuss your goals and expectations, what you're looking for, what your background is, and see if it's a fit. Not everybody's a fit, and that's okay. But I promise you'll walk away more educated and definitely probably a little entertained. We can always discuss some different available options and opportunities that are available out there, depending on what you're looking to put to work. And it's pretty easy. Let's just schedule a 30-minute call or less. And it's really easy. You can go to scott@thenoteguycarson.com. You can email me directly at scott@weclosenotes.com. This is my direct cell phone. And yes, if you shoot me a text at 512-585-3810, I can talk. You can also book a call by going to talkwithscottcarson.com or check out what we do at our website, the mothership, where everything is at weclosenotes.com. All right. Any questions? Any comments? Any concerns? I'm here to help. That makes sense? Pretty easy, right? I know. Yeah, it looks easy to do. You've probably done it a million times. Yes, I have done this a million times. Okay. Actually, I take that back. I've done it like 5 times, 5 to 10 times, and it's blasted, I don't know, thousands of times. Okay. But each and every one of you can create something like this. Lisa, you would talk more about your experience as a real estate agent in Michigan and Detroit. And you talk about Darlene being a business partner down in Florida and how you do a variety of different things and long-time investors. John, you would talk about you being where you're at and experience as a financial advisor in Canada and helping clients put their money to work to earn above average returns, maybe in the United States. Okay. Joe, you talk about your experience there in San Diego. You know what I mean? How you're looking to do something different, but your background in sales and things like that. Derek, same thing. Everybody's got a different history. But the thing you don't have to worry about is the future. I'm hiring, our servicing company currently services about 5,000 loans. Our attorneys have done 60,000 loan modifications. Okay. 25,000 foreclosures. That exceeds any experience you're going to have. And if they ask you, say, hey, how many notes have you bought? I work with a group of closed on. I have not closed any deals, or you can say I've closed on a couple. We're working through a couple of our first ones right now. I'm kind of new to this, but we have a seasoned team working with us. Like, I'll give you an example. Nobody tells you that you can't be a realtor till you've gone out and sold your own house. What? That makes no sense, right? No, you have a team you work with. You have coaching. You have people that are on your team. Same thing. Well, you can't do a mortgage until you've done your own mortgage. Well, that makes zero sense. And I get people like, I'm not going to go buy, I can't raise capital, so I have to close one deal myself. Okay, whatever. That's a bunch of bullshit. But if that's what you want to excuse you want to give yourself, that's fine. If that's coming from a fear place, a lack of experience. Now I get it. If you want to use your own money, I get it. I understand. I'm kind of playing with you a little bit here, but kind of not. Look, you can sit here and dilly-dally and try to get all your ducks in a row. Your ducks are never going to be in a row. You have to understand there's things you put in place. The executive summary, you pull a list of it, put together a pitch deck, and now what do? You email out or mail out a letter, postcard with your capture to your pitch deck and get people talking to you. And when it happens, you do something very similar. Like our buddy Larry Hoffman has done this to a T. He's probably one of the better ones. Cal Ewing. Actually, let's do Cal Ewing. Cal Ewing does a better job. So Cal is one of our buddies. He's one of our coaching students. I don't know, close on 6 or 7 notes, maybe more. Oh, calewing.com. Oh, hang on here. Let's go. Cal Ewing. Oh, www. Forget about that. So Cal's got it. Basically, this is a minute is welcome. Here you go. This is his pitch deck right here. See, 14 minutes. Exactly 14 minutes. And I'd be willing to bet if you click through, our deal focus. Look at that. Performing notes. These are deals that he's taking pictures. What we are not. Does this look familiar, everybody? This works. Okay. I don't know how many people have seen this video, but he's raising money off of this. People are contacting. Our goal is to rehab the bar. Look, it's not rocket science. So people go here and either watch it or they scan it here to book a meeting with them. And this works great. It answers most of the question. The easy landing page, a quick little return. If I were Cal, though, I would put this further up. I would swap that out. Yes, it's a sharp-looking guy, young guy, knows this stuff. Cal's not as young as he looks. But he's done a great job. We're very proud of him. He's closed on some deals, used other people's money. Larry Hoffman's got a very similar one, LJH Investments. Same thing. Look at this. Boom. Our sole focus. Woo! Our team of professionals. Our deal focus. Deals. He's done 6 important things. Okay. These people have learned from me because we have spent time with them for 8 to 10 weeks, one-on-one, holding their hands to get some things rock and rolling. Now, each and every one of you, does the pitch deck look intimidating? And be honest. If it looks intimidating, I'm going to ask, why does it look intimidating? Okay. Joe, no, it does not, right? Like Lisa, one of the great things you could actually put on your thing, you could take a map of all the properties you've ever bought, sold, listed, rented, rehabbed, whatever. Same thing, Darlene could do the same thing. Or you can match your list together and map that in batch geo and then share that literally in a slide. Hey, here's a deal. Here's a map of all the property we've personally bought. I scared somebody off here. So we had another person on here just disappeared. He was afraid I was going to call on him. I love it. It's not meant to be difficult. You just got to get in the habit of it's a muscle. Okay. Like if you want to have big biceps, you don't just start off with you do one curl and that's it. You got to show up a little bit every day, right? Okay. You want to lose weight? It doesn't come off overnight. You got to do a little bit of more exercise every day. Okay. You're building muscles. And the great thing is if you record this, yes, it's probably going to suck at first. You're going to screw it up. Right. That's okay. Go back and record it. Maurice Walter is one of our coaching students. He recorded one. He got a few ums and ahs. It still works. It's 80% done. It's raising him capital. Okay. The thing is, having a website and a pitch deck is only good if you're going to direct eyes to it. You still got to market out on a regular basis to people so that they get an eyes in. So that may be either videos, it may be social media, maybe you broadcast it. This is one of the things that we do on a regular basis. Like you can literally go and broadcast. It's like you could take your pitch deck. I'm probably going to scare somebody, but that's okay. Let me scare you. Let me show you something. So there's a service that I use called Restream. Okay. Restream.com. And what I can do, it's a service that I can upload videos to and schedule them. Okay. So like I can upload a video to it and I can pick out when I want it to go. I've uploaded like 30 videos. I've got just a few in here. But like when I do Note Weekend, my 1-day class, I'll upload the videos in here and I'll have it rebroadcast 3 or 4 times. But the thing is, I'll upload it here and I can schedule it to go out live on YouTube, on my Facebook pages, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, Amazon Live, Twitch, and a few others. And I can have it rebroadcast daily. I could have it roll it video through 10 or 15 times at the same time if it's a small one. I think I pay $99 a month for it, but I use this on a regular basis to rebroadcast my stuff. I want it to go in front of everybody. Now, why do I post it? The broadcast here, like edit destination. So I have it go to, I need to update my Instagram, Amazon Live, some other broadcasting, Facebook, No Close Show Facebook, Business Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Business Facebook, Twitch, and then LinkedIn. I think this is a duplicate. But that's why you see me posting videos all the time, because video works to share. Each of all could have a 10 to 14 minute pitch deck video and you share it over and over again. Don't just share it once, because not everybody's sitting out there watching. Why do I have it broadcast the same video across all those platforms? Because I've got I'm casting a broader net. Okay. One of the things that I've done too is this is smart little video thing here. Record a little selfie video, upload it to, record it to TikTok. I used not to be a big fan of TikTok, but I really like TikTok's got some great things. I can record it, upload it to TikTok, and then it saves it on my camera, on my phone, and I can upload that video to Facebook as a short. I can upload it then to LinkedIn. My short videos, not my longer videos. My longer videos, I use Restream. But the whole point is that's why we have done so well with our YouTube. And this is my second iteration of a YouTube channel, okay? I had about 850 videos on an older YouTube channel that got shut down overnight. So I could never figure out why they shut me down. I didn't do anything illegal, but they shut it down. So I had to restart a whole new YouTube channel all over again, okay? That's pretty stressful, okay? But we have the #1 YouTube channel, over 2,000 videos. We have the #1 YouTube channel there with over 8,000 subscribers. It's the largest. I think we're 2,500 or 3,000 ahead of you in the second place, like Eddie Speed. But we give you content on a regular basis. That's part of what I tied into is the edutainment aspect of it. Okay. And some people are like, well, you should only post like a 1-minute video there, not post everywhere. Like, look, I don't care. I want to make it simple. And that's the thing when we come to our marketing is KISS, baby. Can you remember that? Keep it simple, stupid. Okay. We don't do a lot of editing graphics through our videos. We record it. We'll use a thumbnail when we need to, a little brief description with some keywords or tags, and we upload it. And you're going to start off small. You're going to start off with only a few people seeing your videos when it comes to marketing. You're only going to see a few people see your pitch deck. If you only share it once, yeah, you're only going to have a few people see it. Part of sending out to postcards at the IRA, so you get more eyes in front of it. Part of the reason why you share it on a regular basis multiple times is so that more eyes see it. If you're expanding your network on LinkedIn and Facebook, well, if you only shared your pitch deck 5 years ago, you don't have, I guarantee 90% of your new connections haven't seen it, don't know what the hell you're doing. Like all of you would be smart right now to take your phone, flip it reverse, and just do a short little video. Hi, my name is Scott Carson. Many of you don't know me, but I'm a Canadian investor investing in the United States. I focus on buying distressed assets. I would love to talk with you. If you're interested in making an above average return on your investments, your hard-earned money, if you've got a certificate of disappointment or your 401k is now a 101k, let's talk. We're investing in a variety of states by buying distressed assets and working them to rehab the borrowers to obtain double-digit returns. If you're interested in finding out more information, feel free to book a call with me at Talk with Scott Clarkson, Talk with Derek Anderson, Talk with LisaRush.com. I look forward to hearing from you, and have a great day. Something simple, a 1 minute, 30-second or 30-second video where you share that out. Hey, everybody, this is the value in that repeat aspect of things. I mean, you may not think about how many of you guys on here watch TV? Can you give me a thumbs up? Yes, you watch TV, something, right? Some of you are like, well, I don't want fridge TV. I got Netflix and Amazon. That's fine. They're going to start throwing ad space up there. Somebody raised their hand. Okay. If you're ever watching any sports or any main thing or any movie show or stuff like that, what are you going to probably see a commercial for? Well, if you're watching it on like Lifetime, it's going to probably be like either beer, feminine hygiene, or drug commercials, right? Meds, exactly. All the side effects of meds scare the shit out of me, right? You may suffer from instantaneous death, headache, stroke, anal leakage. What the hell is anal leakage? You know what I mean? It's meds. Oh, it's just so sad. They're programming us not to go eat better food or go work out, but there's a medicine for it, right? The reason they do that over and over and over is repetition. And that's what most people don't realize that you have to do in the marketing. I'm not sending the same video every day, 10 times a day, every 15 minutes, every 15-minute break in a show, but we repeat. We want to make sure and be top of the mind a little bit each day. Like this morning, the little video I shared that we're doing a one-day class, or that we shared a video yesterday about that Houston apartment complex, the Daphne, that's in default, right? It took me, I'm not joking, 6 minutes to throw it up. Well, I take it back. It took me, let me rephrase that, because the Daphne one, I took a picture of the property. I went to canva.com, which we use to design graphics, threw it on there, images, some of the basics from the news, and then sent it to myself. Then it took me no less than 6 minutes, 1 minute to record the video and upload it to TikTok, and then 5 minutes to post it everywhere else, all from my phone. Okay. Like right now, that's part of the reason we're live streaming this on YouTube. Okay. I wonder if I can get one of those weird, like stairwell things in here. It's the reason we shared this to YouTube. Is it's 24-hour a day, 7-day a week, 365-day a year advertising. And it's the number 2 search engine owned by the number 1, search engine of Google, right? This is valuable. Do your walkthroughs of your properties. Do before and after photos. Worst case, take pictures of the properties you're working on and share those. That's what people are looking for. That's what we call it the sexy side of real estate. Is people want to do something, but they're scared out of their minds. You guys are the 1%ers. You're the 1%ers that have signed up and are taking your education, your goals to a whole new level. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there we go. We got the infinite, like, there we go. But that's the point I'm trying to make here. People might post something about a picture of a property once on a Facebook group. Well, if you're not in that Facebook group, you're not going to see it. This is why I say you have to basically net. Don't have to be difficult. There are services that you can use, like, oh my gosh, I just went blank. You could use like Hootsuite, or Hootsuite's a little bit expensive. There's another one we use called Repurpose. So you could use repurpose.io. It's pretty cool. Restream we use. Oh my gosh, what's the other one that we for the social postings? I can't even think. I just drew a blank. But my VA does that. Okay. My virtual assistant. If you're looking for a good virtual assistant, you can check out Riva Global. That's who we use. And they're trained in the note business because we send them our training videos. So if you have a VA with Riva, we'll send them training videos, how to contact asset managers, how to contact and pull lists of IRA investors, how to scrub those. Okay. We try to make it simple for you. Keep it simple, stupid. You don't have to rinse and repeat everything. Now, so let's talk about some of the different places. So your pitch deck can go on YouTube and go on a landing page. It goes on a link to your postcards. You probably want to put it as a featured video on your LinkedIn under a project. Okay. You want to post it, share it probably once a week if you can. Get in the habit until you've raised enough money for what you're doing. Get in the habit of sharing it once a week. It's just like an advertising. It doesn't need to be a diaper ad. No. Josh, the diaper ads are just not for anal leakage. They're also in the meds. Okay. We'll reduce your blood sugar a little bit and help you shit yourself. Hey, we'll help you lose weight that way. Okay. Um, oh my gosh, it's going off the rails here. So what I'm trying to get at is there's a couple different ways, but that pitch deck is going to be one of your biggest keys to success. Okay. Look, I get it. And Lisa's over there rolling on the floor. Look, I get it. You wanted to go talk to people and have that stuff. That's great. But the whole thing, let's make it smart. Let's work like it's the 21st century, not the 18th century, not the 19th century. You don't have to be in front of 1,000 people to get 1,000 no's. You can get it to 1,000 people and then only talk to the 90 or the 10 yeses or the 100 yeses. Work smarter. You don't need to put in 50 hours a week to do this business. You put in an hour to 2 hours a day, a couple hours on the weekend, 10 hours a week. You can be a note investor. You can pull lists and send those out. You can reach out to asset managers with an email blast and contact. Now, one of the most important things too is for years, we've all done what? We've all collected business cards, right? Woo, business cards. Can't see mine because it's green. How many of y'all have a stack or probably a shoebox of business cards at home somewhere? Yes, right? Yes. Do you have that information in an Excel spreadsheet or somewhere that you can email those people? Crickets. No, nope. Well, you know what you might as well do? And Lisa, thank you for being honest. Joe, thank you for being honest. John, thank you for being honest. Is you might as well take that box of that shoebox of business cards and go out and light it on fire. Because it ain't doing you shit. And the reason is that business cards, people often will change businesses, or the life of a business card is about 6 months. And what you have to do, and this is one of the most important things that you can do. I would not go scan all those business cards because God knows how they are and then upload them to your CRM like Keep or MailChimp because they're bad emails. It's going to shut down your system. What you have to do is, and yes, email still works. Okay. Email still works very efficiently. It's still the number one ROI for us. You still get about a $44 return for every dollar you spent. Okay. Every month, if you're sending out on a regular basis, because you're going to use the CRM to email asset managers and bankers and note investors. And guess what? You're also going to be emailing people in your warm market, people you meet at the networking groups, people you've ever bought or sold a home for, people you've ever invested with or helped them invest, John. Okay. People in San Diego you've come in contact, Joe, your salespeople. Everybody wants to be a real estate investor. Okay. Everybody out there, everybody in the world, here in the United States, Canada, Mexico, is either a buyer, a seller, or a funding source. Most of them are all going to be a funding source of some sort. Maybe they don't have the money, but they have a referral network. Okay. And they're either a buyer or a seller at some point. It's everybody's a buyer, seller, or funding source. Okay. So these business cards is you get it and you put it in a database and you drip market to them once a week with something. Okay. This is where this might be the second biggest fallacy I see in the industry is that majority of people don't email because they're like, well, I don't want to bother people with spam. You're not spamming them. You're offering them something of value. And if they want to be an investor, guess what? They probably should hear from you. Otherwise, they're going to hear from me. Okay. And it doesn't need to be the stupid bullshit, this like the recipe of the month or the spring cleaning crap. I'm sorry. All those realtors and mortgage brokers that send out those monthly letters, they're just jokes. They're just, ugh. What would be valuable? Hey, your value in your property's going up this month. Or, hey, we sold this house down the street from you if you're interested in selling. This is what it got. That's what people want, right? Or here's a vendor you could use to clean your house, or a vendor you can use to mow your lawn if you don't want to do those kind of things, the community garage sale, whatever, right? As a note investor, or as an investor yourself, you should be emailing your database on a weekly basis. I know. The only reason you don't have to do that would be if you've got enough private capital yourself. If you got plenty of money yourself and you're good, you're rich, then great, you ain't got to do it. Okay. But I know that's not the case for most of them. That's okay. At some point you'll get there. But here's basically once a week, you're like, what the hell am I going to say? You ever thought that? Like, what the hell am I going to say on a weekly basis? It's pretty freaking simple. Okay. This is my formula for success when it comes to marketing. Okay. You don't send it on a Friday or a Monday, kind of like asset managers. You can send it middle of the week. Tuesday or Wednesday are usually the better ones during the week, or you can send it on a Sunday night at 6 o'clock when people are sitting around starting to stress about what they got to do going to work. It's just 7 o'clock on Sunday night. That's when most of the major sporting events end. If you haven't looked at Super Bowl's over about 6 o'clock. That's right before Sunday night football kicks off. A lot of that stuff. Okay. So Sunday night, well, 7 o'clock Central is the way I look at it. So you figure out 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, that kind of stuff. Okay. But what do I say? Well, every month we know has a holiday, right? So 1 week where that holiday lands, that whatever what day of the week and whatever day of the week you're going to send it out, stick to it. Mine's one of the most things as we do is try to do Sunday night. I've fallen off a little bit through May because I was traveling and taking some time off, but Sunday nights are usually the best. Okay, for me, that's my list is high Sunday night and then high Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. Okay, you learn from me. Okay. So what we do is 1 week, you send it out happy. What's coming up now? You get the 4th of July. All right. 4th of July is on a Tuesday. Is it on Tuesday or Wednesday this year? I can't remember. Maybe it's a Thursday. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Happy 4th of July. The first and foremost, the first email you're going to send to your database is just the hello email. Hey, everybody. I know that I probably haven't communicated with you in a while. I just wanted to get better about communicating with my network and touching base and keeping up with what's going on and sharing some insight in what we're doing and sharing some valuable resources that we found valuable that I think that you will find valuable too. Okay. Many of you know that I've been an active realtor for 20 years in the Michigan area. What you probably didn't know, there's also a very active real estate investor. We like to buy distressed properties that we can either turn into good rentals or turn into rehab the property, or we buy distressed notes that we can fix and we can rehab the borrower to get back up. We like to keep people in their houses. I'm just spitballing here. I've got a guy that was a dentist for 30 years. Maybe you know me as your local dentist. Maybe you didn't know that for the last 10 years, I've also been a very active real estate investor. Those are the kind of things you're looking at. Okay. Or maybe you know me as a financial advisor. We're here to help you with your retirement accounts, stuff like that. But you may not know also that I've also been an active real estate investor investing for my own portfolio. I don't know. There's probably some FINRA laws that you can't get away with, but just go with me here. Okay. I just wanted to reach out to you, let you know. I'm going to be sending an email out once a week, just let you know what's going on, some different things that are popping up in the market, and sharing some resources or articles with you from time to time. If you don't like it, just unsubscribe. If you like it, hey, thank you. Let me know if you have something you'd like to see added. Let me know. I'm always glad to talk with you about what's going on. Okay. So that's your first hello email. You keep it less like 20 lines of thing. That's the magic thing about emails. Don't make them longer than 20 lines of text. Okay. People, these long ass lines where there's all these, I hate those long ass emails. 20 lines of text with maybe an image, a link to a video or something like that, or link to an event. Keep it simple. No more than 1 or 2 links to people to click to. Okay. Now you can have that link in there multiple times where it's the same link where people can go to. Like click here to RSVP and then down click here to RSVP. Okay. 20 lines of text. Hey, happy holidays. Put a video, put an image, put a picture of the flag or whatever it is. Happy Boxing Day in Canada, whatever it might be. I know that's in Christmas time, but your hello email can go out immediately. And then you figure out which week of the month is the holiday. That's where you share that. And then you split the other 2 or 3 weeks up into this kind of categories. One is if you're going to an event or there's something going on local that you go to. And what I would do is look for your local real estate investing club. Okay. Most of you are going to have pretty much a local feel for it. If you can take your list and divide it by locals and then everybody else outside, that will be helpful for you as well. I have my email list in like 100 different categories, niche categories, local Austin, and then everybody else in different niches. If I wanted to pull up everybody in Michigan, I could do that. Everybody in Florida, I could do it all by categories. That's why we use keep.com. Okay. Now, what was I going to say? Oh, John, you're using Keep now, if I remember correctly, right? You signed up and you're doing Keep. That's good. I think you'll love them. I just talked to Darren the other day about that stuff. But anyway, so if you have a local like real estate club, expo, investment workshop, farmers market on a Saturday, something valuable. There's always something going on. in our communities, right? Local real estate investment club. Maybe you're doing a seminar, online seminar. Something can be online too. Hey, I'm doing this. Thought you guys, if you're interested, here's something valuable you can go to. Okay. If there's not a local event, then you can share 1 or 2 articles about something valuable in that network. Okay. Second email. This is your kickoff email. 0 is like your hello. 1 is like an event that's going on. 2, something valuable. Maybe it's a past deal that you're working on. Maybe it's a new deal that you're working on. Here's the kicker. Okay. 188 notes. You could pick some random picture on there and say, hey, here's a deal that we're working on. Okay. Here's a deal that we evaluated. Hey, here's a before and after picture of a property. We're working on a new rehab project. Okay. Or something like that. Or new listing. Just thought you guys would like to know, or we just sold this property in your area. Okay. Remember, so that's, like I said, something going on in the neck of the woods, something informational. Third thing is going to be like the holiday, and it's going to rotate the holiday through the weekend. And then fourth is going to be your ask. Okay. Hey, we're working, last week I shared a picture of a property that we flipped. We're working on a new one. If you'd like to see how you can get involved or put your certificate of disappointment to work, let's talk. Okay. Now here's what you do. At the bottom of your email, okay, the very bottom, you don't even mention it. Maybe you just put a link to your pitch deck. Here's what we're doing at lisarush.com. Here's what we're doing at derekanderson.com. And a link where it goes over to your pitch deck video. Something you're not even mentioning it. Okay. At the bottom, that's your subtle little ask. Okay. And you're not going to go in the first email, hey, I need to fund a deal. But that's what most people make the mistake of, is they don't start networking with their network until they need something. And then it's too late. Because you have to realize 80% of sales comes after what? The 5th contact. So part of why we're doing a weekly email is that so people start responding in week 6, week 7. Okay. So that you not buttering up, but you're offering something. A great book to read that's still very valuable is Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. It talks about kind of the social media. Too many people go, well, I need. No. I give, then I ask. Give, I need. Give. Here we go. All right. You could pre-write these emails for a while. Part of why I started doing Note Night in America years ago was I needed something to promote every week. So I did Monday night promote Note Night in America. If I don't have a Note Night in America, I send an email out with a new podcast episode. Okay. Those are always our highest open rates of 35, 40% on a 60,000 person email list. Okay. The only time I get 100% is if like I send an email to you and you guys open up your access to stuff. Okay. But that's the thing, is that your first time out, you might only get a 15 to 20%. If you got a newer list, you might have a higher list, but that's what we shoot for, 20%. Okay. We all have so much money in our database. And that's what you look at. If you look at your business cards, your email is still going to have a higher open rate, about 20%. And that's much better than a 1% viewership of your Facebook friends, maybe a 5% viewership of your LinkedIn connections. YouTube might be 10% of your LinkedIn followers or your YouTube followers. Most social media is going to be like 1%. And that's not the best way to raise capital. Now, groups have a different fix to that. Your niche, your groups will have a higher hit, but they still don't get a lot of interaction with Facebook groups. It's still good to share there. Still good to share on LinkedIn. This is why we share in one spot and then share it everywhere else. We call that kind of the marketing octagon. If we create one thing, a video, an image, an email, we share it in like 8 different spots. So it's cross-pollinating. Okay, that's the mentality. That's what I had Roland Frazier drill in my head. Just because you created one spot here doesn't mean it only needs to sit as a blog. You can share that to your socials. You can share that here. The more eyeballs that see it, the more people that are going to follow you and are going to be ready and primed. My whole goal is to get people to opt in with an email address and then or share their cell phone number so that A, either I can email them or B, I can text them. We have an active text message list that's, I don't know, 6,000 to 8,000 people, somewhere around there. And we got a very hot list of 1,500 that's almost they open it 100% of the time on that 1,500. I can send a text out to that 1,500 and we'll raise $1 million, $2 million in private capital in like 4 minutes. People see it, they respond. Yeah, I'd like to find out more information. I got 50K. Nope, I don't have 50K. Call me the next one. That's what we look for, to be smart. So now I don't have to market for private capital if I don't want to. I can just send a text blast out, and those that have it are ready to rock and roll. Each and every one of you can recreate this. You're not going to recreate this overnight. But how do you do this? You start with sending an email to one person. You add their business cards to your database. You import them. Whenever I do go to an event, whether it's like the events that I go to now are basically, it's all marketing events. I don't go to the DMEs. I'll occasionally sneak into a mortgage bankers association or something like that here in Texas, or a big mortgage event. And I'll go, and I might go to that for the day. I'll often get invited to those for free. But if I go to like, if you're down in Florida, you go to the IMN event in Dana, or in California, you go to the IMN in Dana Point and just hang out there and take some business cards and grab some business cards. Or don't go and pull up the list and start emailing the people that were on the database that we went through yesterday. Say, hey, are you going to be at Dana Point? Love to meet with you if it's possible. I'll be in and out. Let's talk. But this is valuable. This is gold. So whenever I go to an event, I take their business cards, or if they've got one of those social media apps where it's like the app where you can connect with people. Oh, I love those. I'll sign up for events just to get tapped into those if there's a big enough following. And then I'm gonna go. I'll just network on the social media stuff. Or what I'll do, this is kind of a sneaky thing. When there's a big event, like Keller Williams has a big homecoming event, or they've got different events, or the National Association of Realtors Conference, I don't go to those. I find out which hotel or convention center it's been at, and I go on to Instagram and Facebook, and I'll run an ad that's geo-targeted to that location. So anybody that has interest in real estate within a mile of the hotel, a mile of the convention center, if they're on it, it pops up with my ad, my image, my deal flow, my offering, and that gets people to opt into some things. I've raised capital like that at NBA basketball games or the playoffs. We geo-targeted, like the Houston Rockets were playing the Golden State Warriors. So we geo-targeted all the home games there to get people. You could do that here. I could go to geo-target any event taking place to people that have interest in this one or two things and get them to click on something. And now we grab their information. Now we've directed them to our website. Now we direct them to our pitch deck. And that's cheap. That's like $20 a day to get 100 to 200 people. Okay. When it doesn't make sense for me to spend, $300 on a flight each day, 195 for a hotel for 3 nights to go to an event that has 200 people at it, it makes more sense for me to stick at home, spend $60, send an email blast out, and collect those people that opt in, that are more valuable to me than anything else. I know I'm probably like scaring the shit out of you, but this is all stuff that you're not going to learn overnight. This is stuff that you add layers to your business. Okay. This is how you raise capital in the 21st century without having to do a lot of work. Okay. We talked about Exact Data. You can take a list of these emails that you get off Exact Data for $1,000, upload 19,000 people into a custom audience of Facebook, and market to them with your pitch deck video. Looking to invest, looking to put your lazy assets to work. Do you have a CD? Is your retirement making 8% or less? Let's talk. Click here. Download my free report. Okay. So we got some more stuff we're going to go to. Let's take, we've been going on here for an hour and 15. Let's take a 10-minute break, and we'll come right back. Okay. Damn, I'm going to lose my voice tonight. 10-minute break. All right, so there's a couple of things I want to share with you on the raising capital side. Then we'll dive into. We'll probably get through the next couple of things, and then the investment questionnaire, and that will probably be. Then we'll go to 20 questions, and then that'll be about it for the day. I think where we're at. So let me give you an example. So you, besides having LinkedIn you really need. There are a couple resources you can have in. Memberships or stuff like that. Like LinkedIn, there's plenty of groups you can post there. Those are just a lot of dumpster fires. I like the special assets, like I showed you on day one of connecting with asset managers from there. You have connected investors you could go to. They've got some good stuff there. I don't spend a lot of time there. You can also go to Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets is a bit of a dumpster fire in a lot of cases. You get a lot of people on Bigger Pockets who are answering 20,000 questions. I'm like, if you are answering 20,000 questions, when are you actually doing any deals? You know what I mean? And it's a good spot for people to ask questions you respond to. But when you just see people that have, so many responses, I'm like, okay, I guess if you've got time for that, good for you. Maybe you're not doing enough as you should be doing. But what I like doing is there's a little kind of I can't show you everything because Bigger Pockets has me limited. Basically, I would say I got banned from messaging on Bigger Pockets. I also got banned on Bigger Pockets because my VA got in the habit of uploading things to their marketplace, like a podcast episode, or going and answering questions and sharing a link to a video that I did on that queue. So they said I was self-promoting myself. Which, if you're answering a question with a video, I don't see it self-promoting, but it is what it is. So it is anyway. I don't think Bigger Pockets is going to be around within the next 5 years. They might be, but when you have Brandon Turner, their biggest advocate, leave, it tells you something. So, but what you can do is you can find people on Bigger Pockets who are looking to invest. So when Bigger Pockets, you just go get you a free membership there. All right. Or if you listen to their podcast, they give you a discount for like a half off membership or something like that. So what's great, and it looks like Bigger Pockets just changed up some of their stuff here, which is okay. A lot more ads. Wow. So you see I have keyword alerts. I do like this new activity down here. So what you can do is go to your profile, and let's go to my profile. Insecure. I don't want. Oh, golly. I hate this. Is just crap. All right. So what you can do is go to your settings. Is they going to let me do this or not? Probably not. Yeah. Damn it all. I'll have to do this later. But what you can do is go set up settings for password keyword terms. Okay. And part of the keyword terms that you can see over here that have done well is 169 keyword alerts. Oh, I'm going to have to do this anyway. So while I'm doing that, I will talk you through it. So what I have found is that if there's a lot of people that will go literally onto Bigger Pockets and say, hey, I got 50K to invest. I have 75K to invest. I have 100K to invest, right? Okay. Yeah, save password. So what I like to do, and I show my coaching students how to do this, and I'll share it with you guys, is you go to your settings. Now it should allow me to do it. Settings. There we go. Not my profile. Settings. There we go. And if you go to like your notifications or alerts, click on your alerts. There we go. Add new keyword alert. Okay. So like I can click on this and you can see where are the keywords. Oh, manage existing keywords. There we go. So you can see I have on my existing 100K to invest, 150K to invest, 50K to invest, 75K to invest, and notes, right? Those are the things I want. So if anybody mentions that, I want to be alerted to that. Okay. So if I go over here, I have 169 keyword alerts. Now, some of these are going to be people that talking about how they've got, let's see here, suspending payments, notes. It's all notes about suspending payments. Noretta Capital. Notes. 169, yeah. Let's see here. Here we go. Bob Assad posted about 100K to invest. This was in just 3 days ago. So if it'll let me see here. So if we click on this, which is better to, okay, Bob, which is better, cash on cash appreciation? If you have 100K to invest and put it in, would you get 1 or 2 places that have a cash and cash return, or 1 place with a 5%? Okay. So what I would do is you have your pitch deck, right? You have your pitch deck video. I would go on here and message Bob and say, hey, Bob, I saw that you talked about looking what to do with 100K. What I would do is I would buy some either performing notes that are, performing or reperforming notes that are going to give me a 12% or greater cash and cash return. Here's a short video about what we do. Okay. Wayne Snell did that. One of our coaching students, he raised, $5 million, where he recorded like a 30-minute video of him talking about what he did, which was, he went through his pitch deck basically. So it's about twice long, but everybody else has done this 10, 15 minutes. They're getting responses. And that's one way to do it, is just go. If they tell you I've got 100K to invest, great, let's talk. Notes have been pretty popular lately. See, 50K to invest. 50K to invest. Let's see what it says here. So here's one. This is posted 24 days. I'm interested in real estate syndications. Let's talk. Okay. So maybe they got 50K to invest. Somebody mentioned it in here. It's 50K to invest. Let's see here. Anyway, you could also, if you don't have that, click here on the search and type that in. 50K to invest. Now, some of this is going to be old. But it's going to start getting newer and newer some of the stuff. So you just got to go through some of the stuff. Maybe you want to try 100K to invest. Here you go. 11th of April, 100K to invest. I just refied our first investment property and get 100K to invest. Same thing. Boom. You can click on Amanda Jones and send her a message. Hey, Amanda, saw that you message that you were looking for. So let me do it. It probably won't let me do that. Yeah, see, you have been banned from messaging system. My luck. But you have to switch it up. Now, you can't really message more than 12 people per day. Okay. 12 people per day before the bigger pockets Nazian aspect kicks in and stops you from going on and market. But that's a great way to still connect with a lot of people relatively quickly, right? And like I said, it's not a pitch that you you're not forcing. It's an indirect close. We used to call that in sales. Hey, here's what I'm doing. Maybe you're interested. Okay. That's one of the most things that you can do is just simply say, here's what I'm doing. This might be an alternative, and then start a conversation. If you would like to find out more information, I'm glad to talk with you. I was once a brand new investor. I'd love to share my mistakes or what we do, focus on. That's one of the great things that you can do with Bigger Pockets is that. And that's pretty simple. You don't have to post a lot. Set up your keywords and just go through it. 30 minutes on an afternoon. Okay. 30 minutes on an afternoon. Now, I'm probably going to go back and change and take out notes on my keyword search because I don't need all that extra information. Just the 50K to 100K and stuff like that to do is a good starting point for you. Okay. A lot of bad advice being put on there for people that aren't doing stuff or haven't done stuff in a while. Okay. Now, one thing that we talked about getting in front of people, right? Well, there is something when people reach out to you and you start sharing with them what they want to do. Let's see, investor question there. That's my documents on my desktop. All right. When people reach out to you, they're going to have some questions, okay? And one of the important things that you want to do is you want to have some sort of questionnaire that you can ask them to fill. Now, the reason this is very important, you have to make this a priority, okay? Now, what you don't want to do is have somebody fill this out before they talk to you or put it on a website. Hey, I need you to go to this website and fill this out. That doesn't work. Nobody's going to fill it out, okay? Because they're just not going to be comfortable sharing information on electronics, okay? But what you do is if you've had a conversation, somebody picks up the phone, and here's how my conversation is going. Like if Lisa calls me up and, hi, Lisa, it's great talking with you. Hey, how's your day going? Where's home for you? Oh, you're up in Michigan. That's awesome. Must be a beautiful time of year. Had a kind of mild winter. Yeah, tell me about yourself. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me more about yourself. Because they probably know about me, okay? And based on you, depending on what you share, they may know a little bit about you. But that's okay. It's a good thing. Or tell them about, well, if they ask about your background, here's what I did. Keep it to less than 5 minutes if you can. But I'm going to ask them questions. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your background. And I'm listening. I listen to what they say. So after they tell me their backgrounds, okay, so your focus the last couple of years has been on being a realtor and rentals. How do you like that? Ask questions. How did you like that? Oh, do you still like doing that? No. What frustrates you about that? Because you're just interviewing them. And I know if you've never done this, it can be difficult sometimes because you're thinking about what to do, but they will tell you what they're investing in, and they will tell you what kind of returns they are interested in without you even asking them. Okay? Ask that question. So I like to ask, what are you investing in these days? Not your background. So what are you doing these days? Well, we're doing some fix and flips, or I'm doing some passive lending, or I bought a performing note, or owner, whatever it might be. Right? Or they say, well, I invest in the stock market, or I don't do much. And if they don't give me much of a real estate investor background, I know that they're probably passive. You have a form, they work a job like Joe when he called up, I worked for this company for years. Okay, great. So do you do a lot? Well, I used to, don't do it anymore. Okay, so pretty much your investments are probably in your 401k. How's that performing for you? Oh, horrible, or I've got money sitting in my IRA. Oh, how's that doing? Oh, I ain't doing a damn thing. Cha-ting. Okay. Just listen to what they tell you. If they're not very active, then you can probably get them on a 7-8% investment. If they call wanting 12%, I would say, listen, no offense, the 12% is for very active and is for people that are very active in this. You just told me you're not active. You're looking for passive returns, or passive returns, or 8 to 10%, depending on what you bring to the table. If you bring 100 grand to the table, I can probably get you 9 or 10. If you're only bringing like 50, I can only give you 8%. Okay. If you bring a quarter, we can then do something different. But how much are you looking to put to work? Well, let's talk. Okay. And it's just asking these questions. You're just listening and asking. You're just having a basic conversation. Don't go into what do you want to fund? Asking questions, because then after you ask questions and you listen, it's like dating. Okay. Nobody likes a motor mouth. You want somebody who's listening to you, just asking questions and intently listening, right? Don't cut them off. Listen, match their energy. And I think it's a little sales training here for you, but you don't want to be like a mirror. If they're very soft, you want to be soft spoken. If they're very loud, be loud. One of the things I can't stand is when people call me and they're driving. It just aggravates the heck out of me when they're driving. I can't hear them. There's a lot of background noise, and that's disrespectful to me. Okay. It means that you don't have the respect enough to stop and listen to what you're doing. You got to be doing something else. It's almost like you're with somebody's watching TV over your shoulder and you're talking to them. It's just rude, right? So pull the damn car over if you're on the phone, or stop, get in a quiet spot, turn the TV off, listen to them. Because if they're having a hard time hearing you, they're going to be checked out. Okay. It tells you that when you're have things going on, it's loud, TV, kids not paying attention, and you're driving, all this background noise. It tells them that they're not important enough for you to just take a couple minutes out of their day. Okay. So keep that in mind. Treat people like how you want to be treated. It's important. I hate to say that, but there are people that continuously screw up. And they're just shooting themselves in the foot when if they were just a little bit more focused, they'd be okay. All right. So when you get somebody on the phone, you've gone through this, well, here's, well, what are you looking at? People can put $100,000 to work. Great. Well, we've got a couple of deals that we're working through. They're non-performing. We're in the due diligence process. I always tell people we're in a due diligence process because we always are, right? Evaluating deals, and we always are looking at deals. If you're not, then still say you are. You're in the process of looking at 188 notes right now that came across your desk today, or 12 and another 6 that we had that we got in. You're on this glass. You got some stuff you're working. Hopefully, you're looking at some deals. Or we just closed on a note in Texas. Tell them about that deal. Okay. When they say, okay, I said, well, does this sound like something you're definitely interested in pursuing the next step? Yes, I am. Okay, great. Here's what I need to. I'm going to go. What I need you to do, and this is very important, and you need to do this every time. You need to make this a priority. If you're not comfortable doing this, you will shoot yourself in the foot. And you'll get so frustrated. How do I know? Because I did the same thing. I got frustrated. Okay. And I felt like I wasn't closing anybody because I wasn't asking the questions, and I wasn't holding the people that reached out to me accountable to get me back things. Okay. Because here's the thing, investors, if they want to invest, give them something to do. Give them an action, something to fill out, something to get in so that you can do it. Because here's the thing. Well, we have a variety of people that have reached out to me. And so what I require is a couple of things from you, Derek. I've enjoyed talking with you today, but what I need to do, I'm going to email you an investment questionnaire. I need you to fill that out completely. It's pretty simple. It's going to ask you what you've done, what your income has been. I need this completely filled out for my attorneys, and my legal team wants me to have this filled out from every investor we have. Okay. Now, like John, I'm sure as a financial advisor, somebody comes and sits down at your desk, you're meeting with somebody for the first time, you probably got to pull out a notepad. There's probably a list of questions you ask to make sure that they're a good fit, right? The ex-financial advisor, that's what we had to do. We had a new account. We had to open up, ask questions, fill that in, make sure that they were a fit for what we were putting in. And John says totally here. Okay. It's the same thing. This investment questionnaire is not difficult. And you will probably tweak it a little bit, not much. Mine's very simple, straight to the point: name, address, city, state, email, and the date they filled this out, the existing job, career, how many number of years they've done that for, what have you invested in before. Even though they've already told me, I want them to go back and fill this out. Okay. What's your gross income for 2022, 2023? Okay. And if they ask us, well, what'd you file in your tax returns? What'd you say in your tax returns you made? Okay. Have you invested in real estate prior to this? Yes or no? If yes, what types of real estate investments? Rentals, fix and flips, Airbnbs, primary home, whatever it is, have them fill it out. Where is the investment coming from? This is very important. It should only be like cash, IRA, CDs. They could have equity line, but you got to be careful about that because there's going to be payments. The big no-no on this is like credit cards. The reason I put credit card on here is I didn't have it before, and somebody said cash, and what they did is they took a cash advance off a credit card for $30,000. It was 0% interest for 6 months, even though I told them the deal was going to be for 12 months or longer because they were in Florida. And 6 months of the deal, they start calling me all scared and concerned that they couldn't afford the $750 a month payment. They were going to lose their house. Okay, and I'm like, listen, what kind of? I didn't call them an idiot. I basically did. But it's like, why would you do that? I told you this was going to be at least a 12-month or longer deal because these are Florida deals. They're going to take a little while to foreclose. Why don't you get my money back? I'm like, well, I can't do that for you without a penalty. Oh, she got all mad. I'm like, look, you're wanting to cancel this deal, and you're doing it prior to 9 months of the deal. The most I could give you back would be 75% of what you funded because there's cancellation fees. I got to go raise new capital. Any type of annuity or CD has penalties for canceling. We can all agree to that, right? Do the same thing, okay? Because now you got to take money away from something else to put back into this deal that you can't go forward. So there's a penalty for that. And part of our funding agreements is we require people to give us 90 days to get them refinanced out at the most. Now, if they alert us today, well, guess what? You got 90 days from today at least. And I'm gonna tell them, like, if it's before 9 months or before 75%. If it's like 2 years, then if they need it before 90 days left in the deal, it's still going to be a penalty, if that makes sense. Okay. Because the reason, if they ask for it and we have 90 days left, then okay, I'll refinance you out at the 1 year mark or the 2 year marks. Okay, question here. She was fortunate to be able to get liquid at all. Most institutions won't do that. Won't for that short turnaround. Yeah, exactly. So she actually sued me. I said, I can't do this for you sooner than 90 days. Oh, she got all mad. You'll hear from my attorney. So she sued me. I get this letter, and I get served. I called the attorney. I said, listen here, I've got a funding agreement. Obviously, your investor or your client didn't tell you that they filled out this investor profile, because they claimed that they didn't know, they didn't have this information. I said, did she send over what we sent her on the deals and the breakdown of the deals? She's like, no. So I sent it to her. I said, here's the investment questionnaire, saying that she's very knowledgeable, took all these classes, was understanding this was going to be a 2-year deal. And then she didn't tell me it was from a credit card. She said cash. And he's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, is there anything you do to help my client? We'll withdraw the lawsuit, because basically we covered our ass. This is what this form is a CYA. Cover your ass, okay? Are you investing money out of a self-directed IRA? Yes. Who's the investor? This is important, because if they say Chase or Citibank or AG Edwards, they need to move that to a self-directed IRA custodian like Quest or Trust, because it can take a week or two to move it over, okay? If they're moving it, if you are to invest, would you be comfortable tying the investment up for 12 to 36 months? Yes or no? If they say no, I'm sorry, you're just not a fit, okay? For interest payments, how often would you like the payments made? Quarterly, semi-annual, annually, or one lump sum with my investment back? I don't do monthly payments. It's too big a pain in the ass. It also gives you a little bit of wiggle room in case a borrower is late. What would you say your net worth is, including real estate? What would you say your net worth is without real estate? See how liquid they are. Are you currently involved in a bankruptcy or loss of any kind? Yes or no? If yes, please explain. And I'm not, it doesn't mean if they're in bankruptcy, we usually won't do the deal until the bankruptcy is discharged or dismissed. If they're in a lawsuit, I want to find out that lawsuit about. If they're suing somebody else, if they're suit happy because they sued somebody because they made a 12% return and they were promised a 13, okay? That's part of why you ask an interview, because people will tell you if they're bad actors, okay? And they're always going to claim, even if the deal drags on longer, oh, you committed fraud. How did I commit fraud? I gave you all the deals. I gave you all the information. You had access to stuff. I didn't commit fraud. You wired directly to the bank. We're working through a deal. You get what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? So what type of real estate education classes have you purchased or attended? You ask that too, so you see, they can say how smart they are. If they need more room, fill it out in the back. This is a requirement, okay? You choosing not to require this is you playing with a Russian roulette, and you're an idiot, okay? I'm going to say that right now. You're an idiot if you don't do something like this. You're asking to be in trouble. This has saved my ass on a variety of times, because people suddenly will forget shit all the time, right? They only remember the positives, not the negatives, okay? So we asked them to fill this out. This is the first thing. You have to return this in. I will not consider you a viable investor. If you want to get involved in a deal, you need to get this back to me in the next week. I also will need, number 2, a proof of funds. I'll need a copy of your IRA statement or something showing where the funds are coming from. You don't need to have your account number. I don't need your account number, but I need something showing, and if it's your 401k statement, your IRA, something that shows that you have the funds. Not a canceled check. I had some guy send over copies of $50,000 checks. I'm like, these checks don't mean shit. I need to see a bank statement. Okay, something. You got to require that. If they won't do that, then they're not going to fund. If they're definitely not going to fill this out, they're never going to fund. Okay. And the third thing I need is I need a pledge letter. And they're like, what's a pledge letter? Pledge letter is very simple. It says basically you're sending an investment questionnaire, proof of funds. Basically, I want you to just send me an email. It says, hey, Scott, it was great talking to you. I've attached my bank statement showing $500,000 for my IRA account. I am pledging 50K of these to do towards your note deals for the next 12 to 36 months. That's all I need you to say. Nothing complicated, nothing that I'm pledging my firstborn or whatever like that, but I need you to say that this amount is for note deals for me, okay? Those 3 things will all cover your ass. So yeah, so your funding agreement will outline all that. I don't share my funding agreements really with anybody that's not a coaching student, John. So I think you're signed up for coaching. So you'll get a copy of that we can talk about. So yes, the investment questionnaire doesn't, it's generic. The funding agreement outlines their rate of return they're getting, the time of the deal, all that stuff outlines it. Okay. Liquidity, yeah, they can cancel within 90, that stuff is all in the funding agreement. I don't share that publicly. You need to have an attorney do that. I do that with my one-on-one coaching students. It's not hard. I mean, you can pretty much have a funding agreement. Some attorneys will want to charge for $5,000 for agreement. You don't need to do that, but it's just something. It's a simple outline. It's like a 3-4 page funding agreement talking about what goes wrong, who's responsible for what. If you get the money back, our responsibilities, their responsibilities, that kind of stuff. So yes, that's not in the questionnaire, but it's in the funding agreement. Okay. But you ask them, so I need you to send all 3 of those things. The reason you ask for them to send all these 3 things is every time they send it, it's a yes, yes, yes. Yes, it's a yes for them to meet with you on a phone call. That's a good thing. It's a yes that they ask more questions, that they show up to the phone call. It's a yes for them to say they're interested in taking the next step. And then it's a yes, yes, yes. Try to get them to get 4 or 5 yeses. Now, here's the one thing that you have to realize. And I've had people get so scared. And I know when you have your first conversations with private investors, it can be stressful. Oh my God, what are they going to ask you? What you don't want to do is get diarrhea of the mouth and throw up on them. Okay. Don't throw up on them. Don't tell them everything. Ask a question and let them answer. Listen to what they say and then answer. Okay. Just keep it. Part of the reason you have the investment question or the pitch deck is so you don't throw up on them, have to tell them about everything. Okay. What you might want to do is if you have 1 or 2 deals you're working on, say after your investment question, here's a couple of deals that we're working on. Talk about, hey, here's A, B, and C. Here's what's going to happen. We're either A, we're going to get the borrowers back on track and they start paying on a regular basis. The minute they start paying, then we'll start sending you quarterly payments. Now, if they don't pay, then we'll go the route to either A, get them to, starting the foreclosure process or working out some sort of them signing the property over, cash for keys, quick claim deed, short sale, stuff like that. If when that happens, then we'll take it to foreclosure. When we sell it, if we sell it at the auction, you'll get paid your investment back plus the interest. If they don't, and we do end up, it doesn't sell at the auction, we'll take the property back, fix it up, and then sell it, and then we will pay you back your investment plus your interest. But what we'll do, and the same thing, how do they want security? Hey, we'll co-name you on the assignment, or we'll do an assignment of collateral. Well, you'll hold the actual collateral. There's a few variety. I can put a lien against my other properties that I have. There's a variety of different things you can do. Okay. Some you can put it in a trust and assign them beneficial interest if somebody goes south. There's a whole variety of different things you can do with notes. All right. But once you take a property back, if it doesn't sell, one of the things that we do is that we'll immediately, when we take it back, if we don't sell it at the foreclosure auction, we take it back and rehab it. We're going to put a lien on the property for the investment amount that you did. Okay, so that protects your investment on that. So you'll no longer be on the note, you'll be on the property title. Okay, you're not in the deed, but we'll put a lien on it. Okay, verbal leakage. Exactly. So if you don't get these 3 things back, they're not going to fund. Seriously. And what you have to do is start preparing your investors. Let them know a week out. Hey, this is why you ask, how much are you looking to put to work? How much are you looking to invest? That's why you ask for a pledge email. I can't tell you how many times people haven't gotten that. And they're just, they're hoping. I'm like, have the uncomfortable question. How much are you looking to put to work? Because if you go through all this and you never ask that and they only got 20 grand, you just wasted your time. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're just not a fit for what we're doing right now. Okay. I can't tell you that. Or people are like, I know that person beforehand. No, you don't. This is something new. You don't know what's going on in that person's life right now. Now, if somebody's going to invest in multiple deals, I don't make them fill this out more than once. Just once, we hold it on file. Okay, but you cover your assets aspect of things. Okay, we had one deal that's dragging on a little bit longer right now, and it was two women. They both invested money, but I borrowed it only from one. One gave the other one a promissory note, and then that one gave me the full funding, and then the one that gave me the full funding, she bought out her partner, and so I'm only keeping the one person on the deal. And then we're just starting to make payments. It's been dragged down because the foreclosure is dragging on longer. But we're like, we'll start making you payments since it's been beyond a year. You could do that. You don't give them any equity. They want a percentage of the profits. I'm sorry, I can't do that. That's illegal. If you want to do that, then you need to bring $250K to the table, and then we can put you in an LLC together. I'm not going to put you in an LLC for $50K. It's not worth your time. Okay. And that's the thing. Like I said, I had a guy come in one time in my office 3 times. We sat down. He actually I let him take my class so he could learn about note investing. He wanted to do deals. So he came in, he wanted to make 12%. I said, I got a deal. It's 150 grand. We're going to fund 10 notes with this deal, and we're going to close in 2 weeks. He's like, that's great. And so I gave him the funding agreement, and I sent it to him, and he brought it into me. We were about to sign it, and I flipped through it. I was like, wait a second. I didn't say 15%. You changed this from 12 to 15. He looked at me like the cat that caught the canary. Well, I like 15. I was like, I told you 12. You just changed this up and hope I didn't sign it. F you. Get the hell out of my office. He's like, oh, what are we talking about? I was like, no. You're just trying to change stuff up on what we agreed to. If I did that, you would feel the exact same way. I need you to leave my offices directly. I will not do business with you. Okay? Yeah, walking paper serve is my size 14 boot up his ass. And another guy came in. He was like, okay, I'm good. 12%, 100 grand. Great. I said, okay, I need you to send me an investment, questionnaire, proof of funds. And he sent me the proof of funds. He sent me the investment questionnaire and a pledge letter. And so I said, we'll probably fund in about 2 weeks. So a week goes by. I sent him the funding agreement. I said, hey, I need you to sign this funding agreement and be ready to fund. Here's the wire instructions for escrow account. Well, I didn't hear anything from him. I sent it to him on a Thursday. We're going to fund the following Friday. He knew about that. Monday, I didn't hear anything. Tuesday, I didn't hear anything. Wednesday, I'm like starting to freak out because like we're supposed to fund in 2 days. I barely have enough time for you to wire the funds into the escrow account and then turn around and wire them to the bank. Well, then he called me up and said, well, I don't have the money anymore. I'm like, what are you talking about? You just had the money. What happened? Well, I found the deal is too good to be true. I'm like, are you serious? When did you fund the deal? Well, I found it 2 weeks ago. I'm like, why didn't you tell me 2 weeks ago that you didn't have the money? Well, I don't know. I'm like, now you put me in a bind. Now you drug me on, and you basically didn't tell me. You drug me on for basically a week and a half. Now I have to go get something else. So I sent an email. Hey, the funding agreement is invalid. It's canceled. Nothing. Had to go scramble to get another investor. Well, that guy called me back a week later. He's like, hey, I'd like to take you to lunch to make up for it. And I was like, I appreciate that, but no. His name was Bob. I said, no, Bob, I appreciate it. You can lose my number. He goes, what are you talking about, man? I said, listen, you lied. You didn't lie to me, but you knew we were funny. You knew we were relying on the 100K. You put me in a big bind. If you're going to do that to me now, you're definitely going to do it to me again. You don't respect me enough to do this deal. To be honest with me, if I did the same thing to you, you would sue me. I'm not interested in doing business with somebody like that. He's like, oh, mad. I'm like, I'm sorry. You have to be willing to say no. If you get a bad feeling from somebody, be willing to say no. Now, people say, can I have my attorney review? Yeah. Does your attorney do real estate? No. Well, then why are you having an idiot? Somebody doesn't understand real estate review. Sure, you can have them review it. Your attorney, accountants review it. But if they don't understand the deal parameters and what we're doing with the deal, then fine, have them review it. If they want to, insert a clause or two, sure, I'm glad to take a look at that. That's fine. I got to go home and pray on it. Well, you've probably prayed about finding a deal and God delivered to you. So if you want to pray on it, I'll give you 24 hours. But otherwise, I'm moving in a different direction. I just don't have time for people that aren't serious. If you're serious about this, and I've spent time talking to this about you, I've met with you once or twice to go through some different things, then I expect you to be serious. And but you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, it is a process. Okay. Now, I get people that call me all the time. I got 100 grand I want to invest. Great. Let's talk. What's your background? What's your experience? I still like to do the whole 3-touch approach. Now, you don't have to have the 3-touch approach in today's world like you used to. With the Jobs Act, you can solicit a little bit more for capital. You can talk with people. You don't necessarily have a relationship, but I still think it's a great thing to have. It builds rapport. It helps you identify issues on the front end versus just having somebody wire 100 grand to your escrow account and fund some deals. Okay. Where's the money coming from? What's your experience? There's all important things to keep in mind for people, so you don't end up putting a bad apple or a bad actor in your deal. I've got a really good buddy of mine out of Houston right now. He's got a syndication, and it's been hit hard. I mean, it's in a couple of deals, bought some property, and he's got people in the syndication threatening to sue him. And he called me up. He said, I know you've been through something like this before. I was like, yeah, you do the best you can. You stick with the syndication. It's real estate. You didn't take the money and go to Cabo or anything like that. It's all in real estate. Your attorneys have reviewed everything. these people have signed NDAs. You might want to include a non-disclosure agreement with people where they can't go out and blast you all out. If they do, they void their investment or penalize their investment. Because that's the thing is, look, deals aren't always going to go smooth. That's the most important thing. Okay. And in real estate, it's not if you're ever going to get sued, it's when you're going to get sued at some point. It just happens. All right. You can do everything right and still piss somebody off because they don't like you and they're going to sue you. I had an attorney in Florida reach out to me, wanted to buy 2 notes that we had. He tracked me down because we own these 2 notes in his same building in Coral Gables, Florida. And I said, yeah, I'd consider selling you the notes. And so we agreed on a price of $45K for the 2. So I sent him a contract. He signed it, sent it back. I didn't collect $1 from him. And I'm like, I sent him the electronic files, but then I said, hey, I don't have the hard files. I can't find the hard collateral files anywhere. I don't know if my servicer lost them or what, but I can't find them anywhere. I can't close on this deal because I can't deliver the documents to you. And so he got all mad at me. I said, listen, I didn't take $1 from you. I'm sorry. If you need me to, if you send me a receipt for your BPOs or your O&E or title work, I'll pay that. Okay. He didn't send me an invoice. So a year goes by. I actually host a class out in Miami, and a process server shows up at the class and serves me. And I'm like, who the hell is this? I'm flipping over. I'm like, I was like, oh, are you serious? I called my attorney in Florida, and Tom's my attorney. And he was like, oh, okay, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it for you. So he goes in front of the judge. I don't have to show there. And the attorney's claiming that I owed him $90,000 for lost profits on a deal. And the judge looked at my attorney and looked at the guy and says, what do you mean lost profits? The defendant never took a dime from you. Never took a dime. He disclosed that he couldn't do that. And my attorney's like, yeah, he disclosed he couldn't deliver the documents, couldn't find them. So the judge threw it out. Okay. Well, that cost me $1,500 to send my attorney down there. It's just going to happen from time to time. Okay. What you do is you do those things that I tell you to do. Buy first lien, stay at 70% or less. Don't put people in a skinny deal. Do your due diligence. Pay for a BPO and O&E or stuff like that. And look at the deal. If the bar doesn't get on track, then start the foreclosure process. If the bar is playing keep away, hire an attorney to start that process. Get that process going. If people and tell people, this is part of why we set the deals up to be 24 to 36 months. One of the biggest mistakes I made, 2 mistakes I made, and I don't want you to make these mistakes. The first mistake is like the first 2 years, I didn't want to modify anything. I wanted to foreclose. Well, that cost me money to foreclose and attorney fees and drug stuff out. And when I look back at it, I probably could have modified probably 75% of what I foreclosed on, and it would have been a better day for me. I would have had cash flow coming in, less expenses, and would have made about the same amount by selling the note 12 or 36 months later and had cash flow constantly. That was the big mistake I did, trying to foreclose, coming from a real estate of mind. I'm going to foreclose on everything. No, don't do that. It can be costly, especially with foreclosures being delayed and stuff like that. The second mistake I made was I made my funding agreements 12 months or less. I should have made them 24 or 36 months. Okay. Make your deals 36 months. It'll save your ass in some cases. It would have saved me in COVID, but then COVID delays things a year, and I'm got agreements that are ending. I'm trying to get people refinanced out, or it was just a bit of a chaotic mess. But that's okay. We got through it. We're still here today. You do the best that you can do. Now, one of the things that you want to make sure you do is as you're going through your due diligence, your loan files, share them. Feel free to share them with a Basecamp group or a Dropbox file folder, something that your investors have access to. They can't go make changes, but something that they can see things. One thing we like is Basecamp. So if somebody's invested in a deal with us and we get an update on the deal, we can go and upload that email or make a quick note. Hey, just want to give you an update. Boom. The borrower reinstated, borrower modified their loan. Those are great things to do. Communication once a quarter. I wouldn't do it once a month, but once a quarter at least. Just sharing what's going on. The great thing is a lot of your servicers, your servicing companies, they're going to direct the money where you need to. So just because you got somebody on an assignment of mortgage with you, you only have one. The servicer is your servicer. They're not going to split it up. Now you can have them say, hey, I need you, when the payments come in, to go ahead and wire this percentage to this person. You can set that totally up. There's a lot of these servicing companies that will have an investor portal. They can log in and see and have just read-only access to what's going on. And that's not a bad thing to do. But what I do is we only want to make a one quarterly payment. So we make sure it comes to me, then we send out a quarterly payment to our investor. The reason we do it monthly is there's ACH fees, and that will take a lot of expenses off. So once a quarter, that gives us a little wiggle room. If a borrower's late, we can reach up the phone and get them back on track and work with them in a variety of reasons. Okay. If we're foreclosed, I mean, before close, we'll let them know what's going on. We'll talk more about that tomorrow with exit strategies. And then when the property is listed and going through stuff, we'll make sure and send them a listing agreement so they can see what's going on with the deal. Okay. Let's take a quick 8-minute break. Come back at 1:30, and we'll finish up by the day with our last hour. All right, let's dive into this. So Johnny asked me what Basecamp was. This is Basecamp. It's basically a project management tool that we use actually with our WC and crew members or one-on-one coaches, students, some other stuff like that. So we have a mastermind group too. We'll create. So basically, you sign into it. It's going to give you a list of different files. So, like this is an example of one file that we have on a deal that we're working with the realtors' information, receipts, collateral file, all the good stuff, attorney stuff. We provide that when we bought it so that the investor could see everything. We've since taken this property back. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I can put a note in there and everybody gets it. That's in the file folder. Our monthly WC and crew members we have a file for that too. So we can literally just send in a message and it goes to everybody. Right. Question here from somebody. It is kind of like a Dropbox. I like it better because there's more of a communication message board aspect of it. People can ask questions from their email and go back into it. They can access the file. So like this, people go and see, part of a work group, they can go and see all these different files that we upload, notes available, postcards, class replays, all sorts of good evaluations and stuff like that for people to see. It's a valuable tool for us in communicating with our members. Okay. We've used Dropbox before, and that turned into a bit of a cluster as people would save something, but not save it as the original file after the edits, and it just got to be a bit of an issue. Okay. There was something I was going to go through. Oh, Lisa, I wanted to ask you, Lisa, where at in Texas did you, was the note that you bought? Where was it located? Oh, Dallas, Texas. Okay. So that's a great thing. So let's, is it Dallas County or what county is it in specifically? Do you remember? It's Dallas County. Okay. So here's an easy thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. So let me share my screen. So here's what I would do. If you want, are you looking to raise more private capital, right? You said you fell in love with it. It's what you want to do now, right? Yeah, no brainer. Okay. So in Dallas is a lot of private capital. So if you fund a deal, you would be really smart. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Where was your investor located? Where is he located? Is he in Dallas or where's he located? Do you remember? In Michigan. Okay. What part of Michigan? Wayne County, where you're at, Detroit, somewhere else? Macomb County. Okay. So here's what I would highly recommend you do. You're going to love this. Okay. You probably already thought about it because you're a bright gal. All right. So if you go to Texas and go to Dallas County, the Dallas Appraisal District, click on there. Owner name, Equity Trust. There is 153. Okay. 153. Now, is there a way to get more than 10 at the time? I don't see. 16 pages. Okay. So what I would do is I would get a VA or I would pay somebody to go on here and pull all the names of the investors, like this one, Ashland Property. Okay. And what I would do is I would send a postcard, or you could send a letter to, what's this guy's name? This guy's in Washington State. Venkataju Kaluja, whatever. I can't pronounce that. Okay. And send a postcard or create an infographic on Canva. And maybe you do a single deal pitch deck. Talk about the deal. Hey, is your IRA making 8%? Your IRA could have funded this deal in Dallas, Texas, and made 10% or 8%. And you make it a little case study. And then you market to everybody here in Dallas, all the IRA investors. That was just Equity Trust. That was 153. $44. There's another 100 between Quest IRA, and Quest Trust. So that's 253 people. I would, order 500 postcards from Vistaprint and send a postcard with a picture of the property. Really simple. And then let's go to Macomb County. Michigan might be a little tougher. Macomb County in Michigan. We might need to do try mapping GIS. They're a little tricky. This might be trickier to Macomb. It's difficult because I think parts of Michigan have been starting to sue the self-directed IRA custodians for lack of taxes. So like they sued Equity Trust or Quest Trust Company when a client from Quest Trust didn't pay the property taxes. Open data, let's try open data. Oh, there it is, property information. That's what I meant to go to. Sorry, I think this will work. Some of these Michigan counties. Okay. Yeah, this is what's so goofy. If you have any clue. Let me try another thing here. Try the treasurer's office. There we go. That's better. So there's 67 people in Macomb County that have an equity trust account. So you'd always click on here individually. And there you go, David Emma. There we go, Chesterfield, Michigan. So, well, that's the Register of Deeds. This is the tax stuff. You're looking for property, and Register of Deeds is okay, but this will give you the mailing address, which is what you want. Okay. All right. So that's 253 people roughly. So, what's the address of your property? You don't mind me asking? I don't have it in front of me. Okay. So let's do this. So we got a property here. Let's just have some fun. Okay. So like this is a list of some owner finance. No, so let's just do this one. Okay. Olive Street, Control C. Let's go over here, Control V. All right. So we got Olive Street here. I'm sure you guys can see my screen. Yeah, okay. So, all right, that doesn't look so good from there. All right, let's go over here. Okay. Mattress. So, I don't like that one. I don't want to market a piece of shit property. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not bad. Look, if it wasn't for all the junk around it. Let's go to a different one here. Let's go to this one, Fur Avenue in Lubbock, Texas. I think this is probably a better one. And this is probably out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Well, I know that there's a reason I didn't want to buy these. Let's look here. $816 Durham, North Carolina. Okay, that's not so bad. Okay, let's go over here. Let's see what. Let's just say it's this little property here. Okay, just for. So what you could do is do a screenshot of this. Whoops. And let's do a screenshot. All right, we got a screenshot of that. Let's download this. Let's go over to Canva. Let's see here. We want to create, whoops, let's go back here. We want to do a postcard. We'll just say postcard. Continue. Size. So this is the ideal postcard size for the 5x65. So let's go here. We're going to upload the picture we just did. We just did a screenshot. We're going to bring that in here. We're going to crop this image. Stretch it out. All right, it's not a bad looking little piece of property, right? You get the gist of what I'm talking about. And you could have posted in here. I'll put some title. Work is your SD IRA. The great thing, Canva will kind of center this stuff so it's almost all okay, perfect for you. Is your IRA day? Is your IRA? Oops, I didn't mean to copy the same. All right. There you go. Is your IRA, is your SD IRA making you 8% plus? You know, that could be something you send out. And then on the next page here, let's just add a page. Let's copy this. Oh, I don't want that. Let's go to uploads. Just upload it. Okay, so click over here, upload there. Let's change that. Let's just crop this down. And then you could just simply, you could get in here and, you know, let's do some, well, leave it blank. You can leave it blank if you want to. It'd be cheaper for you. And then just go in here and say, add a heading. If not, we need to talk. We help investors like you make an above average And what did you pay for the deal? You know what I'm asking? Or how much did they fund? Fund 133K. Okay, great. We need to shrink this down probably to down to no later. There we go. 20. Our investor fund this. You know, I would put, here's the thing too. Let's go back up here. Let's go and put elements. Let's go here. Let's go to LinkedIn real fast. Okay, you should be blasting this. Hey, we just funded this deal. Let's see. What do you got? Killing me. Only 1,100 connections. Come on, Lisa. When's the last time you shared something was 5 months ago? You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. All right. I know. Doesn't do shit. All right. I love you. I can give you some shit because I expect you to give me shit back, right? You're just letting this stuff sit in the sidelines. So I'm trying to get your damn photo here. There we go. Copy image. Let's go over here back to Canva. Where were we at? I have too much stuff open. There we go. And let's do elements. Let's do a frame. Drag that over there. Put your smiling face. There we go. If not, we need to talk. We help investors like you make an above average return. Our investor funded this deal in Dallas, Texas, making 8% for three years. Call me today. And then what you could do is you could go over and go to Bitly. Let's just make this simple. Go over and do your pitch deck. Let's see here. My content. Pitch deck. Take that link. Go back to Bitly. I just logged in the other day. There we go. There we go. Ah. All right, so we go over here now. Yeah, save. Create new. QR code. Get this stuff over here. Oh, let's edit this one then. My pitch deck. Why is it not let me change this? So you gotta put a link in there, whatever, and then basically hit save changes. Now you get a Bitly link up here, right? So you can go over here and download this Bitly link. And then go back here to, now that you've got that up, where is my, there we go, uploads, upload files, download, boom. There you go. And then put your phone number and email in. Now you get a postcard. Now you get a deal that you did with your smiling face on it. All right. Boom. Just like that, you create something. Now you can go over to Vistaprint and order 50 front and back postcards or 500 front and back postcards, and you're off and rock and rolling. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's a good start. Can we agree to that? Just like that. All right. Funded 133 crate. That's awesome. Congratulations. You're 1/7 of the way to $1 million in funding. You can do it. All right. But this is one of the things you can do. Go over and post this to LinkedIn. You're killing yourself by not spending time on there. I know means I don't get it. It's literally the thing that asset managers are looking at for you. If you want to get more deals, go on there. Okay. I know that's one of the things that you and I've talked about. I got to find more deals. I got to find better deals in PaperStack. Well, guess what? You got to market. Okay. Here's the other thing about PaperStack. I mean, going over to PaperStack, just reaching out to the asset managers on there will get you some stuff, but you got to do different things. I love you, gal. I love you. I know what you're capable. That's why I'm harping on you, because there's things that you can do to drive yourself better. Or, hey, you take a picture of a property and you go do something like this with your phone and share, hey, we just funded this deal like this. This is a deal. It's 2 minutes long. I don't know if you can see it or not. Probably can't hear it, which is okay. Picture of the property. Here's a deal that I'm working on in Dallas. We just got funded. Our investors making 8%. It's a performing note. You have to start leveraging the social media that's about there for you, everybody. It just is going to help you do so much work, so much less work, but the work you do exponentially better for you. Okay. You know, that's one of the things I like sharing is if you're looking at deals, share it. If you're looking at a note you're trying to fund, share it. I mean, you'll be surprised. Yes, will you get a lot of views? No, not at first, but you don't need a lot of views at first. You just got to start sharing it on a regular basis. I got a deal I'm working on. I got a listing. There's nothing easier than doing this from your phone. Nobody can sit here and tell me they can't do it. When I had Wayne Bridenstine in his 80s, okay, a student of mine in his 80s, taking out and filming a picture of a property that he was getting ready to make an offer on from his computer and sharing it and getting funding for it. There's no excuse. And that's the thing I'm trying to get at, reaching everyone. All of you are smart enough. You can log on to Zoom. You can do these things. Canva is one of the easiest drag and drops. Part of what I was trying to share with you is you can go into Canva and you can create all these infographics. Every image we create is in Canva, whether it's my assistant that's doing it. It's just a blank, the back of the Canva card. Oh, you want me to share that magic with you, do you, Derek? Okay. I'm kind of rushed on it. Did I close it down already? Well, you know, the beautiful thing, I closed it down, but we can just pull it back up. Right there. I put your phone number or email at the bottom down there. You know, one thing that I did when I was sending out letters previously to foreclosures, or people in trouble, I would always put my picture on it. Okay. And I would put PS. I put my picture on the bottom of this so you know I'm a real person with real solutions. I put my picture on this so that you know I'm a real person with real deals. Now, Lisa's a realtor. You're buying a note. You don't need to disclose your realtor when buying notes. It's not like that. Okay, you're not buying the property, you're buying the notes. Look, it's already over here. Like, is your SDI making 8%? And a banana. What's a banana? I may have missed that joke. Okay. But the thing is you can do this. The great thing about this, if you go to home, you can pick what you're trying to do. Like I'm going on and creating these backgrounds there with just pulling a picture from, this is a TikTok. You can literally pick what you're using it for, and it can create you the perfect ratios for it. Okay. Well, I can go back here, like if I need a YouTube or a presentation or a flyer or whatever. I mean, like I did this for Phil Brodeur, is one of my new coaching students. So his LinkedIn profile. We just went on and said, okay, LinkedIn banner. And we pulled over, he likes Colossus. So we put his name, his company, and made it look more professional. Okay. This is like the work. It's like $15 a month, I think, for Canva. And oh my God, is the easiest thing to use. It's like one of the best tools you can use when it comes to marketing, because you can create images. If you're going to be going to a meetup group or a networking event, take the time and create a flyer like this one, this performing note in Topeka. We went and pulled a picture of the Topeka asset and we marked it. This is an older photo, obviously, but we use this as a thumbnail in our email blast. And I had 4 people reach out, tell me about the Topeka note. Okay. Everybody is so scared to do things, and you have to flip it the other way around, because 99% of people ain't doing shit. And honestly, Lisa, if you go on and spend time on your LinkedIn and just start connecting with note investors, you'll find more deals. You'll raise more capital. You're a Hall of Fame freaking broker. Oh my gosh. Why would you not use that in your marketing? I'm a Hall of Fame broker. Come on, gal. We need some of that big broker energy. Okay. Networking, not my strong stuff. Look, you're a great girl. And here's the thing. If you go and say, now, okay, let's do this. Are you in a spot where you can talk, Lisa? If I open the mic up, can you jump on and talk? Can I ask you some questions and we can work this out for you a little bit? Oh shit, I didn't want to talk about this. Yes, no video though. Okay, so you ain't got your hair all done. Okay, whatever. All right. Let me bring you on. Let me ask you to talk here. All right, I love it. A lot of talk. Okay, Lisa. You should see a little thing pop up there to open your mic up and go from there.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
All right. So what kind of networking event are you going to?
It is actually a political one. My friend is a clerk in one of the townships here, and but there's a lot of people there that she said I should meet, because they all have money, they all invest, they're all entrepreneurs.
Okay.
She thinks it's a great room to be in.
Perfect. Then what you do, take you some business cards. If you can take your business card, one of the things that I did is I put a QR code in the back of my card. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see here. So it's a QR code here. I just created that in Bitly, which takes them to my website or takes them to my pitch deck. All right. This actually this one takes them to my podcast, but you could create something similar, normal business card. You can't see it's all green on the front end side. There you go, maybe a little bit better. But create something, and that's what you give, so that you want to make 8% or more on your money, put it on the backside. That's an easy subliminal thing for people to reach out to you on that and say, hey, I'm a Hall of Fame broker. but I buy a lot of distressed real estate, and we help people make an above average return. You know what I mean? If you were going to a real estate investing networking or a summit, I would tell you to go back to Canva like we just created, and then just instead of it being a postcard that you give to people, the front and back postcard with the deets, and people and make that your business card. You know, where you hand that out, where it's much bigger than this. They can't help but see it. Throw it on some tables or stuff like that, and then it's a QR code where they scan, or they can give it back to you with their information, and you can give them a phone call. All right. If you're going to a networking event, a meetup group, a real estate expo, and they're going to give you a chance to get up and talk about deals, I would get, hey, I just closed on this deal. Our investor's making 8% for 3 years. You know, maybe have a few of those postcards. If you'd like to learn how to make 8% in your IRA on the next deal that we're doing, here's some information. Give me a phone call, or fill out your information and give it back to me, and I'll be glad to jump on a call with you. And then you just email them your pitch deck, and then a calendar link for them to book from there.
Awesome. I wish I would have had the address, because I could have just had you email the card you just made.
That's why I asked. Do you have Canva? Do you use Canva right now or no?
I do.
Well, hang on. All you got to do, if I go to Canva, I think I just go in here and share it with you. Let me do that. I can go in here and hit share. Let's go back here to home and do that. And share. What email do you use with this? Do you know?
Lisa at mutualih.com.
Mutual IH?
Correct.
Like that?
Yep.
.com. And you have edit power, and it should come into you. There you go. Now you can work on that one. Now you've got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for jumping on, being a good sport.
No problem.
All right, let's go on here. Get her back. Okay, so the reason I just wanted to go through this is because, like this, if this was a picture, we could use it as a postcard. We could use it as a flyer, an image for your website. I mean, we could literally take this. She could take this and throw it on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, all the social media, the Facebook, the LinkedIn groups. Hey, we just bought this note. You know, that's the most important thing. I highly recommend you do a short little video, you know, talking about the deal. An easy thing to do is like with Zoom. Oh, let's do this. We record a lot of our videos with Zoom here, but we can turn our background into a green screen. It's a green screen array. So we can just put a picture of the property behind us. Say, hey guys, here's this property we just bought in Dallas, Texas. It's a reperforming note, cranking out 13% cash and cash return for the next 27 and a half years. Our investor, we had an investor fund the deal at 8%. He's making 8% for the next 3 years or longer if he wants to stay in the deal. If you'd like to put your lazy asses to work, like your self-directed IRA or your certificate of disappointment, let's talk. Feel free to reach out to me at talkwithlisa.com. I am your Hall of Fame broker. I love that. We got to use Hall of Fame. You need to be like Hall of Fame, baby. You know, your walk-up needs to be that movie that's the Hall of Fame. We're playing for the Hall of Fame. I'll find it for you. But the reason I'm just trying to go through this with you guys real fast is this is the thing that will separate you. Not doing things separates you from having the most amount of success you want. All right, and that's the thing. We coach people. We got a broker that we work with in Minneapolis, actually, Mike. He's a realtor up there. He's got a podcast, but we've helped him with his online marketing. Now he's doubling his numbers. Now he's raising capital left and right. Just got a $600,000 deal funded, all with private investor capital from the marketing we showed him how to do. He funded another one. He's got $1.5 million basically on another apartment complex he's funding. We're actually working on him to get the note, to get the bank to finance the note purchase on it and then get a deed in lieu, but he's still trying to raise capital because he has to take it down. But it's all come from him sharing images and his deal flows and stuff like that. That's the aspect of this is you got to get out in front of more people. If you struggle networking, and that's okay. There are days we want to talk to people and days we don't want to talk to people, right, everybody? Okay. And that's okay. You know, that's the big thing and realizing that you can do this stuff from behind the curtain. You don't have to be out in front of everybody. You could use images, you could use short videos. I mean, heck, there's some great things you can do, and I want to go through this with you guys here. One of the strongest things that we've been using very quickly, it's become one of our favorite things. Hang on here, I don't want to do that. Is some of the AI tools. Okay, and I want to go through this briefly with you. It's not hard. I personally like. There's why is my I got too much stuff open. Is what I have. Share screen. Go to that. Share. And there we go. Okay. So Google has a bar, is basically Bard is their AI. And I like it because it's linked into Google. Okay. So, like, I'll give you an example. Like, he's got a couple Airbnbs. Like, man, I really need to create a checklist for my cleaning crew. So, well, let's just jump on and let's please make a checklist for my cleaning crew when it comes to cleaning my Airbnb between guest bookings. And this is a draft. It literally came up with everything in less than 30 seconds. Now, if you're marketing as a note investor, let's do this. Let's see. Create 52 topics that I can share with my weekly email newsletter about investing in people investing in distressed real estate, primarily notes, primary real estate, by using their retirement accounts on a passive basis. And let's see what it says. Let's just see what it says saying that, okay? These are topics. Please reorganize these. And change the topics to match up with the holiday season. Let's see what it does. Let's see if we can't change the topic so that it falls in line. Here we go. Look at that. All right, for number 28. Number 28 is economic factors affecting distressed note investing. That's the July. For number 28, please write a 500 plus email discussing this topic. So that would be good. You might even do it. You could even read this as a video and talk about your newsletter, or make it a paragraph where they can click on it and go to something longer, or it's you talking about a video. You could just literally read it for word. Okay. Some of you are like, blown away, right? Kaboom, right? And then we go, so it says for number 30, please write a 500-word newsletter. There you go. Well, okay, let's do this now. Create a 5-letter campaign that I will mail to self-directed IRA investors who have purchased a property or funded a private loan with their SDIRA. My goal is to make an introduction and focus on them potentially investing with me passively on performing and non-performing notes for a 24 to 36 month basis. Come on. Come on. These need to be a little bit longer. That's the titles. Can you expand? There you go. I had to go silence my cat. The big note cat Dion here. He was downstairs. I don't know if you heard him whine. I was like, okay, stop whining. He's missing his mom. And there's a bunch of birds outside, probably squirrels outside the front door too. He's going crazy for. So anyway, but yeah, this stuff makes it all powerful for you. It literally now, of course, do you copy it word for word? No, you go in and tweak it, modify it a little bit for where you're at, your information, tweak it. But you got 90% of the information done. There's no excuses now. And let me give you an example. Like if you send out 50 letters, they're going to cost you about $1 a piece. When you look at printing, it may cost you more than that. What I would do is your executive summary. You know, you want your executive summary to be pretty nice looking. You want your logo. I would print your first letter be in color, so it's got a nice logo and your smiling face on it. That's an important thing. Okay. Spend a little bit more glossy paper. So maybe it costs you $2 for 50 letters. You send out 100 letters. to it, you're going to get a response. It may not be immediately, but if you hit them up with a postcard later on, that's kind of how we do it. Letter, 1 month, postcard the next. Letter the third. Somehow in between, we try to find their email, their LinkedIn. We got that QR code to try to schedule a call with them. Deal we close, we send that to them. And the whole goal of this is just to get them to keep your postcards. Everybody will hold on to postcards for a while. Hell, I had people hold on to postcards that I sent out like years ago, call me, hey, we need some help, or we want to buy, we want to sell our house now. I'm like, okay, thanks for holding out. I actually did it was a funny thing. I was married to a brunette at one point, Carrie, and she was a realtor for a little while. And my sister-in-law, Lindsay, was a blonde, and she was a realtor too. So I created a postcard and I did a split test, A-B split test, and I sent it out to them. Well, it's funny, Lindsay got more responses than Carrie did because people like blondes. It was just kind of funny. But it definitely, the brunette got a lot more than I did when I put my face on. Who'd rather talk to me in a city? They'd rather talk to a woman. All right. So that's the thing that you keep in mind. Like Lisa on here, it was much easier for you versus us because it's much a male-driven business with asset managers. You just got to reach out and be where. I'm not trying to say sexist or anything like that. I'm just simply saying when people talk to us, talk to guys, a wall goes up. When they talk to women, the wall goes down. And here's the number one thing I can tell you about when you're talking to people about raising capital. The worst thing has already happened. What I mean by that? Well, they've already not invested with it, so you can't go any worse, right? So when I go into a meeting talking with people, I'm completely relaxed, okay? I act as if I don't, because I think to myself, hey, they're going to want to invest with me. The worst thing has already happened. So if they don't invest with me, at least they're going to walk away. We're going to be friends. I'm making some friends. And I will literally say that. And I'll talk with them and say, listen, hey, guys, look, no matter what you decide today, I want you to walk out of here smarter, more knowledgeable. So I'm here to serve you. Would I love it if you invest with me? Yes, I would. But if you choose not to, it's not a big deal. So I just want to make sure and put that out there for you. All right. I want you to walk out of here smarter, learn more about what we do. It may be a fit. It may not be a fit. Okay. But I'm an open book. I'm here to answer any question that you might have. Okay. And you'd be surprised how people are like, wow, that's refreshing. Some of the other things that our investors have done too, like our buddy Cody Cox is one of our coaching students. If you ever see him at some of the DMEs, stuff like he's got this long ass white beard. He kind of looks like a garden troll with a white beard. Somebody Santa, but he looks more like a troll in a good way. All right. Or garden gnome, not a troll, garden gnome. Okay. He actually, I think, if I remember correctly, he sent out letters to people around his neck of the woods and he invited them to coffee. And he set up like, he went to find a Starbucks nearby in like the wealthiest part of Seattle or Portland. He's near Portland, so I think it's Portland, Oregon. So he found a Starbucks booth. He got there early, but he invited people. Out of 12 people that booked with him, he booked it from like 8 a.m. to 8 o'clock at night. And he did 45-minute bookings. Okay. So they give him time to get up, run to the bathroom, and come back and stuff like that. So it also, if it ran longer than 45 with questions, they weren't on top of each other. Okay. So that's what he did. But he had 8 people show up out of the 12. He gave them a couple flyers. He gave them a little bit about his business. He had his pitch decks. Basically, here's what I'm doing. Here's a couple deals. I think he closed 4 investors out that at $100,000 a piece. Okay. Not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. I have another buddy that what he does is he goes and hangs out at he finds a Starbucks at the most expensive part of town. And he tells the people, the lady at the drive-thru, hey, if anybody pulls up in a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce or a Power Wagon or a BMW, tell them I got their coffee and give them my card. And he sits there for like in the morning from basically 6 a.m. when they open to roughly noon. And that's what he does. And he says, oh, here's my card. What you do, if they got a nice car, I don't care what the order is. If it's a bulk order, I don't care for 12 people. Just say, hey, somebody inside wanted to buy your coffee. Here's his card if you wanted to thank him. Boom, just like that. I hadn't thought about that. And I was like, when I heard that, that was phenomenal. Now, there are some things too. I mean, you're going to talk to people, and there's a lot of great things that you can share with them. Let's see here. I want to go through this really fast for you, and we'll wrap it up for the day. I always like to go and, oh, that's not what I was looking for. Let's try this document, 20 questions. Did a whole presentation on this. Maybe it's in my, oh, here we go. 20 questions for prospective investors. Yeah, I did a presentation. Okay, you guys will probably like this. Okay, let me share this and we'll wrap this up. Yeah. We did actually apply this. So when you're talking questions, these are basically questions that you want to think about asking, and they're probably going to ask at some point. So it's good to have things out. 20 questions to ask prospective investors in the first and second call as you build trust relations. By first, second call, first time they call you, or you meet with them, or you call them back. Okay. And it's pretty simple. Come on, computer. There we go. Have you invested in notes before? How did that turn out for you? Yes or no? When you invest, what are you looking for? Appreciation, income, or tax benefits? What's your time horizon? Are you comfortable with an investment of 3 to 5 years? Come on. What has made the biggest difference among your most successful investments? Tell me about some of your most successful investments. Kind of the same question, but pretty close. What is your top concern when it comes to investing? If you could own this and in your IRA qualified plan, would you invest? Who are you connected to that we should meet? This is like for referrals. You should always ask for referrals if you got somebody else. So that's one thing, Lisa, you may want to go back to your investor. Hey, do you have anybody else that you think I should meet that would be interested in investing in something like this? Referrals are like the easiest thing to ask for. Okay. What is your typical size investment amount that you make? How diversified do you think your investment portfolio is? Are you looking for less volatility in your investments? Would you want something that has more predictability to it? Come on, what is going wrong with this thing? Can we do anything to improve our presentation or pitch deck after they get invested? Of course, get feedback. How does this fit within your other investments? Come on, it's not just that, it's my computer. I got too much stuff open. What other investments do you have? How important is liquidity to you? What value might you add to my business other than investment? Can they contribute expertise in any other way? This is good too. If you want to partner with somebody, people that just invest, you can't really partner with, but somebody who is also interested in investing or can do due diligence, that's a possibility maybe for an equity split at some point, but not right up the front side. Okay. How important are the tax benefits of an investment? Would you be interested in an investment that can reduce your taxes? Do you rely on anyone else in analyzing and reviewing investments? CPA, financial advisor, attorney, other. Volunteer to send materials to that other person as well. Okay. Are you looking for income at this stage in your life? Ask this if your proposed investment will generate income for someone. And 20, what is your tolerance to risk in the investments you make? I got these 20 questions from Brad Blazer from the Capital School. I went and attended his 2-day event in Houston last year. Found it very valuable. Although I've raised probably more capital than those guys in the room. Not more than Brad. Brad raised a couple billion according to him, but it was still valuable to go and get a refresher. So probably it was worth like $400. It was well worth it for me. Okay, but these are all good questions. Can we agree to that? So if you have time, are there any tax benefits for U.S. investors for investing in notes? Well, I think the tax benefits, I mean, it can be short-term or long-term capital gains for them. It's just on ordinary income. If you're owning the notes and you're writing off some of the debt, you can 1099 the debt off. I mean, it's just like if you're invested in an IRA, It can be, if it's a Roth IRA, it's tax deferred. If it's a traditional IRA, it's or if it's Roth, it's tax free. If it's a traditional, it's tax deferred. So I'm not an accountant or CPA, but that's the thing we look at. Are those questions in the manual? No, Derek, they are not. They'll be in the new manual. If you like, what I can do, I can shoot it over to you. I'll email it to you all tomorrow when I'm done with everything. Okay. Any other questions about that? We've covered a lot today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for Lisa for jumping on, sharing that deal. I just wanted to share that with you, guys. I am such you can tell I'm very passionate about this business. I want you to find success. Okay. I know that we're capable of helping people raise capital and get more deals done than them trying to do it on their own. Our one-on-one note coaching is phenomenal. We have an amazing program, amazing success track record. You're not working with some coach. If you want to sign up for coaching, you're working with me. And how does the coaching work? It's basically 10 weeks of weekly phone calls, coaching calls via Zoom live. It's not pre-recorded. It's live. We do it in the morning, the afternoons, or the evening, whatever works best around your schedule. We work on getting you offers made. Like Phil has been a part of the coaching program for less than 2 weeks. He's gotten 2 deals accepted and 3 tapes in already. Okay. That tells you something. We literally put you in touch with our top 12 to 15 hedge fund managers that are sending deals out on a regular basis for you to start looking at. We'll give you a list of asset managers, banks, LinkedIn contacts from IMM that our VAs have pulled. We'll help you with pulling lists of IRA investors in different parts of the country for you. Hell, we may even give you a list if we've already pulled it. All right. And that's the whole goal, is in an 8 to 10 week period to get you making offers and getting your deal closed, so that you're recouping back what the cost is of our coaching. Now, our coaching is an investment. I'm not going to tell you it's cheap, all right, but it's value add. I work my ass off to get you to close deals and we'll keep working with week in, week out till you close your first deal, make your money back, okay? After that 8 to 10, and the reason we say 8 to 10 weeks is usually have, everybody's unique. Some people need a little bit more hand holding, others are much more faster paced. It's completely different on it, okay? But after that period of time, after we meet in Zoom, then we have you come meet with me for 2 days here in Austin. And we spend 2 days with you one-on-one. Sometimes we'll fly out, like I'm probably going to be flying out to New Jersey for the Gores. I'll probably fly out to DC for Fulton and Antron, because Antron's a school teacher. So he's got a limited time that we do it. And I'll make an exception every once in a while to do that. I flipped to Philadelphia because we had 4 ladies up there. Flipped to Scottsdale because there's 3 people there for you. And so, and that 2 days is focused on closing more deals or raising more capital for you. And we work with you. We'll hold your hand. We'll help you with your pitch deck. We'll help you with your website. We're not going to pay for your website, but we'll help you put the things in place to be strong, powerful for you. We'll help you create things. We'll help you just get more deals done. We'll help you with a hand holding on your pitch deck and closing investors to help you get your money back on the coaching. And my coaching, like I said, it's not cheap. It's also, I'll tell you though, it's not the most expensive. We give you more than what others charge in this. And like I said, I focus solely on the banknotes, buying either performing or non-performing notes direct from banks. Yes, we can talk about owner finance notes, but I'm not going to waste your time or waste your money sending out thousands of postcards or letters to owner finance buyers. I think that's a waste of money and a waste of time. Let them come to you if you'll just learn how to market. Okay. Our coaching is $25K. That's good for a full year. After the 2 days in person, we meet as you need. Some people still want to meet like 30 minutes like every other week, and that's totally fine. We just fit in the schedule. Some people like, I just only need to meet with you when I need to. That's completely fine. We'll help you evaluate your deals. And that's the thing, during that 8 to 10 weeks, if you give me your buying parameters, I'm going to help you find a deal. I'm going to help find a deal or two to make things happen. Keith Holland, we found a deal that he could pick up for 17 grand. It was worth 80 grand. It was 17 acres and a mobile home. He bought it for, what did he buy it for? 24, I think, 18 or 24. The number comes to mind. And then the borrower reinstated and brought like 15 grand to the table to reinstate. We helped him raise the $3.5–4 million for him to take out and buy that distressed loan on the hotel as well. Okay. We're here to help. Okay. Now we do have a 30-day pay in full discount, knocks it down to 20. If that's outside your budget, then we'll work with a payment plan for you. We may carry financing. If you're working for a company right now and worked them for 2 years, we will have you apply with ease Consulting. They will often finance folks. If you've got a 2-year work history, have a 625 or greater, and make 40K or more a year, they would probably finance you. And they don't finance everybody. Our coaching has such a high success rate in success that they're glad to finance it if you fit in those parameters. And, if they won't finance the full 20, maybe they finance the 10, and then we can work out a payment plan for the other 10. My biggest goal is to help you close deals, ladies and gentlemen. I see enough coming in that I want you guys closing deals, but I'm not just going to give my deals away for free. My time is valuable. Yes, we have our monthly membership for $97 a month, which is great. And you'll learn stuff from there. Yes, you'll see some deals from there, but our coaching students always get first access to our deals, and their bids take priority. I got plenty of deals. I'm not taking these lists and cherry picking my stuff first and foremost. I got plenty of opportunities and plenty of deal flow. I'm here to help you achieve success. So if you're interested in potentially becoming a coaching student, I'm here to help answer questions. We've got coaching students who are glad to jump on the phone and let you pick their brain as well to see if it's valuable. And we've just done a tremendous job in helping so many people out there really succeed at what they do. All right. And we want you to find success. If you want to find success, and maybe you can't do the 20K in 30 days, that's okay. Maybe we can stretch your payments out for a year. Let's see what you can put down. Then we can come up with a payment plan that works to fit your budget. So anyway, feel free. Let's book a call at talkwithscottcarson.com. I'd love to chat with you, just to pick your brain and put you in the right direction after next week, or once next week rolls around, to help you take what you've learned and apply it and get the ball rock and rolling. And who doesn't want an accountability partner to help you get deals closed and help hold your hand through the process of raising capital, servicing, making offers? Many times we're helping our investors get deals cheaper because we know the seller or know the true story behind it and work it in our favor. So that's all I have for today, ladies and gentlemen. It is right at 4:30. I got to stop here because I've got to head somewhere and be somewhere at 5 o'clock today. And it has been a great day 2. We've got a full day tomorrow. On Sunday, we'll get started right at 9 o'clock, run till 3:30 tomorrow. A lot of great stuff to go out, take some action, have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.